to Skydome. I'm Rod Smith.
I'm Matt Dunnigan.
The CFL season starts here tonight. The Argos and the Alouettes. It's coming up next.
The way to the semifinals. Wimbledon Tennis Championships. Grand Slam excitement continues tomorrow on TSN.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
The roof at Skydome is closed. The race for the Grey Cup is wide open, and it begins tonight. Opening night in the CFL with a doubleheader beginning here in Toronto. The Montreal Alouettes, led by 72-year-old Rod Rust. His debut as a head coach in the CFL, but a long and illustrious history as a coach in the NFL and the Canadian Football League. And his counterpart, the youngest coach in the CFL, Pinball Clements, Matt.
That's right. Mike Clements finished the season off at 4-5 last year. Really put his stamp and his flavor on this football team. Had a whole off season to prepare and get his staff organized. And he's got a group of players that really exemplifies his personality. And let's hope the same thing on the football field as well tonight.
You saw his record, 6-4 as a head coach. We should point out, and then 2 of those losses he was playing and obviously distracted, including his farewell game against the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So if you want to count him as just a head coach, not playing, 6-2, and he smiled as a player, and look at always positive, smiling and setting things up on the sideline for the Argos. And they'll be on defense first. A lot of veterans on that Argo D. It is Montreal winning the toss, so it'll be Jacob Marini to kick things off for the Argos. And the Alouettes, who no longer have Winston October, is the exciting return man. But watch on the right of your screen, a man by the name of DeMarco Archangel, 0. And he is electric. He is small. He weighs only 148 pounds, but he can take off. Speed to burn. And maybe he's the answer for the loss of Winston October to the NFL, trying out with the Washington Redskins. The 2001 CFL season is underway. And it's a shorter kick coming down to Bruno Hebel, the fullback, who takes it up to the 37-yard line, where the Alouettes will go to work. And it's Anthony Calvillo, the quarterback for the Alouettes, in his second season as the undisputed starter. And you see the numbers last year, and as Dave Randorf mentioned earlier, 27 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions, the mark of efficiency.
The efficiency there, Rod, is unbelievable that this man has developed since he's been in the Alouette land. He holds 2 of the league's top marks for quarterback efficiency rating all time. Just tells me he's getting the job done.
Second only to Dave Dickinson, the MVP of the CFL last year in efficiency. So they started off, handing off to you-know-who, Mike Pringle, who busted up the middle, and Calvin Tiggle takes him down after a short gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Mike Pringle's doing the job back in the backfield. Expect a lot of that. The new addition there is Kevin Alexander, number 88, making the expendable Alfonso Browning. Up front, the veteran offensive line. OKK's there, Burchfall, Chu, Flory, and a slimmed-down Neil Fort on the right side.
Slimmed all the way down to 327 pounds and used to opening up some holes for Mike Pringle. As mentioned, that's a gain of 3 yards, so 2nd and 7 for the Alouettes. Calvillo back to pass, under pressure, and taken down.
Oh, Alfred Payton getting after the herd for the Toronto fans. Swat showing you why he came over, why they're excited about him. Stay home kind of guy.
Look at the veterans, Payton and Scott. Also O'Shea and Tiggle in that linebacking core. And Adrian Smith back in the corner. Orlando Steinhauer over from the Hamilton Tiger Cats, signing on at safety for the Argos. And Payton doesn't waste any time. He's been a sack machine in the past, and he picks up one there in a big loss and punting situation for Terry Baker and the Alouettes, standing on his 17. The second leading punter in terms of average last year. Not a bad one away. Comes down the 45 for the Argos. And that return gets up to midfield as Kerwin Bell comes on now. Last year with both Winnipeg and Toronto. Came on after the Bombers cut him, and those are his numbers. His best year actually was in '98 with the Argos, when he passed for nearly 5,000 yards when John Jenkins ran the offense.
Yeah, Kerwin came into camp this year a little bit late. Developed a little tendonitis, and that tells me that he wasn't throwing much during the offseason, but you can expect him to throw a lot this year. In fact, I expect him to throw more than anybody in the league.
John Jenkins has made no secret of that fact. They're throwing on first down. Tyrone Brown coughs it up, and it's nearly intercepted by Kelly Wiltshire.
Our offense is going to benefit from John Jenkins and the name he puts right there. Daryl Mitchell loves this offense. 160 balls caught in 1998 under Jenkins. Kerwin's going to have a field day using his talent around him. Up front, flanked by 3 Americans, Roquet, Gilbert, and Morgan. Annunziata St. John in the middle.
So a good break for Bell and the Argos as Brown looked like he had it, coughed it up, and it was nearly picked off.
As Jenks showing you what he's going to do, signaling plays all day long.
Bell under pressure gets it away, and once again it's nearly picked, that time by Jason Richards in one hand and down. So the Argos should consider themselves lucky to be punting from their own 35.
Swift Birch working on Roquet right off the bat. It's a great matchup all night long. Kerwin, it's going to be interesting to see if this offensive line can do a good enough job of protecting this man. There's a lot of pressure on him in this offense. Kerwin takes a big hit right off the bat from Swift Birch.
The punter is Scott McKenzie. Last year it was Noel Prefontaine. He had an average of 47, best in the CFL. McKenzie, once again, like last week in an exhibition game, slow to get it away. There were a number of times where he just hung on to it. This will be no yards on a shorter punt down just outside the Alouette 20-yard line, and the penalty will add to that. Scoreless early here at Skydome. This is CFL Live on TSN.
Want to win $1 million? Shop and swipe your...
As always, we're going to give you our keys to the game the way we see it. For the Alouettes, they must have a balanced attack. Anthony must distribute the football evenly. Pringle, yes, is going to be a factor. And then on the outside, he's got to distribute the ball to his wide receivers. For the Toronto, new season, new system. How quickly can they adjust to this system? Last year, evident that they needed a system, only scoring 18.7 points a game. They need a good start here this year. Hey, as well as Montreal. Last year, they got off to a perfect start. Last year, Toronto won their first one, and then everything went haywire.
Well, neither offense has had a good start so far in this game, but here comes Pringle on first down, and he rumbles up 7 yards to the Alouette 40.
Well, that's the type of efficiency they want there on first down, Rod, is to get 6-7 yards, put themselves in a good situation. Any team across the league will look for that and hope for that.
The second leading rusher in the history of the Canadian Football League, over 12,000 yards. Only George Reed, 16,116, stands in the way of Pringle. Number 1 all time. That could happen in a few years from now. Out of the shotgun and second and short, they're passing. And completing it over on the far side to Thomas Haskins, still on his feet. He went back a bit, which would have been shy of the first down, but he clearly has the first down yardage now up near the Alouette 45.
That's a prime example of why second and short situations are so important to offenses. Anthony Calvillo is looking downfield. Defense is dropped off. He throws underneath the Haskins in the flat, breaks a tackle, simple first down. A very high percentage throw. This will keep the chains moving. This is exactly what you need early in a football game to get a tempo going.
There's your balanced attack. Run to Pringle, pass to Haskins, getting him involved, and the Alouettes have been known to do that for the last couple of years. Faking the handoff, play action, rolling out, and an easy dump off there. Bruno Rappel straight arms his man, and he gets down to the Argo 40, a big first down, Montreal.
Right up until this point on 1st and 10 situations, Montreal has simply just fed the ball to Pringle, and then here you see Anthony Calvillo after play action. He boots out, hits a wide open Rappel in the flat for an easy first down.
Bruno straight arming Orlando Steinhauer there and wins that battle easily. Big size difference. And they've got it inside Argo territory now. Handing off again. Pringle tries to cut back inside, but the Argos have it read very nicely. No gain and perhaps a loss of a yard.
Mike Pringle, he's chasing George Reed, isn't he, Rod? He's getting close. I can't believe how close he's getting. 2.5 years, he can see the light at the end of the tunnel. He can smell the end zone, so to speak. He's coming into training camp in great shape. I think he's anticipating doing this in a short little while.
Well, I'll tell you, he's over 3,700 yards away, which sounds like a lot, but I mean, consider he gets upwards of 1,700, 1,800 a year. It's not inconceivable if he has 2 great seasons, he could have it done by the end of next season. If not, if he stays healthy. Shaw as he stepped in front of his man near the first down marker.
That's very uncharacteristic of Ben Cahoon, not coming back to that football. Anthony Calvillo's going to break the corner here. He's trying to move. He's got Leroy Boone as Frazier. See, this man, Cahoon's sitting there waiting on the ball as Shaw is breaking towards the football. Defensive back's going to win that case every time. You got to work back to the football, help your quarterback out. He's throwing off balance. He's got Leroy Blue in his face. That's an early mistake for Ben Cahoon.
Terry Baker's longest field goal last year was 50. This is 49 away. And if it has the legs, just barely. That one was about 50 yards as it drops across. Well, that's 3 on the board for the Alouettes, who have the lead early in this season. First quarter in Wendy's CFL Live, 3-0 Montreal.
If you enter, you can.
This is game 1 of our doubleheader. After we're done here in Toronto, we head off to Calgary for John Wells and Glenn Suter. An opening night at McMahon Stadium for the Stamps and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's coming up after the Alouettes and the Argos here on TSN. Not a bad drive at all for the Montreal Alouettes. 5 plays for Calvillo and company. A little more than 3 minutes that took, and it ends up in a 49-yard field goal for Terry Baker and the early lead in this game.
And Rod, they stopped themselves simply. Just a mental mistake by Ben Cahoon not working back to the ball. Otherwise, they'd still be on the field looking at a possible major as opposed to settling for 3.
And so Baker kicks off. Alouette 35. And the Argos will go to work on offense again. Now it's Daryl Mitchell. Mookie Mitchell with it. And he tries to work his way back to the other side. Is taken down. Tracy Gravely is there at the 26-yard mark. The Alouette defense, here's one of the leaders, Kelly Wiltshire, an ex-Argo. A couple of ex-Argos on this defensive unit. Glenn Young in the middle. He signed over as a free agent. An all-Canadian linebacking core, Stephen Reed, the other one on the outside. And in the secondary there, Irv Smith, one of 4 All-Stars last year for the Owls, but the other 3 are not playing in this game tonight. There's Glenn Young, had 3 years with the Argos before moving on. Sorry, Stephen Reed there. BC native. Makes the handoff there, and nothing doing at all. It is Eric Riddick burying Grayson Shillingsford after the faked handoff to Michael Jenkins.
Watch Riddick close fast. Big boy is 6 feet, just almost 200 pounds. Showing them how they do it at North Carolina State. Breaks on the ball, head up, wrap him up, roll the hips, take him to the turf. It's a great feeling for 29 in his first start this year.
A loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 from the Argo 25. Bell got a shotgun, swings it out from Mike Jenkins. And Jenkins gets it up to the 30. And he is finally taken down there, but it'll be shy of a first down. The Argos will be punting. In the opening day in Taylor Field and Regina, Matt, you were there when Jenkins exploded last year. 200 yards in 1 game and ended up over 1,000.
He was shedding tacklers just like he did Kelly Wiltshire, and right there, and he was on fire. And this man made a name for himself in a hurry here in Toronto. And he came into training camp a little heavier this year, anticipating some more playing time, opportunity to block some more for Kerwin Bell. And he's coming ready and understanding what's expected of him.
Scott McKenzie to punt. The last time he hesitated, I only point that out as you look at DeMarco Archangel, the return man. McKenzie was slow getting his punts off last week in Winnipeg, and it was costly. And this one comes down about the Alouette 40, and on that return is Reggie Durden. And Mike Pringle and the Alouettes will come out and see if they can get a drive going again. The last time out resulted in a field goal by Baker.
Well, he hasn't found much room today, but it's early. You know, continue to wear them down, and as we've seen in the past, Pringle's usually a whole lot better at the end of the game than he is at the first.
It would be interesting to break down his career yardage in the 4th quarter, because I'm sure you'd find there was more of it then than any other point in the game. You're exactly right. He does have a tendency just to pound down, wear them down. There have been many games where he's been held under 50 in the first half and then explodes in the second. That big O-line opens a hole for Pringle again, who rumbles 10 yards, midfield, first down, Alouettes.
He was high-stepping through that hole. Look at him, they're happy. Chew right there, Flory right next to him, open up, running right over those 3. Fort blowing out his man. Pringle just finding a little crease, keeping his legs churning. It comes through. There they are. There's the Hogs. Look at them. Well, that's exciting when you go up there and dominate the line of scrimmage and create a new one 5 yards downfield. Nothing better than feeling that for an offensive line.
Brian Chu and Pierre Bercheval, the center left guard, were all-stars last year. There's Jock Climbing. He's been an all-star before, and he's got a big catch and another first down. They run for one, and then they pass for one, and they're inside the 35.
Again, just play action, feasting off of the faking the ball to Pringle, drawing all kinds of attention. You can see O'Shea gets caught a little bit inside. AC's got plenty of vision on the outside. Just hits Climby right in a nice hole there. And Lawyer gets taken down by Orlando Steinhauer.
Last year, of course, training camp was interrupted somewhat as he finished off law school in Ottawa, had to make the commute. He's keeping his professional football career going. He wants a Grey Cup ring. Counting on this being the year, I'm sure, and a short gain. Alfred Payton in on that tackle for Toronto. The ex-Alouette, he had some good years in Montreal, of course, coming over when the team won the Grey Cup as the Baltimore Stallions in '95, and here he is with the Argos.
Yeah, Rod, you may not recognize him because he's wearing a new number 99. 56, of course, is already worn by Chad Folk, and so Swack went to 99, and we've seen plenty of them already in this first quarter.
First play in scrimmage for the Alouettes. Payton was in sacking Anthony Calvillo. Who will pass this time? Quick one over the middle of Ben Cahoon to the 25 and down, and it looks like another Alouette first down.
Hey, Ben Cahoon, knowing he had to make up for that last series when he let one slip away, he's just run a little hot route, comes over the middle, understands, as a veteran should, where the chains are, and gets exactly what he needs.
The Alouettes' first draft pick in 1998.
Danny Machocha on the sidelines, taking over this pat hand, so to speak, with this offensive. Boy, he's trying to get the ball more to Haskins. I see Haskins was out there first couple series, but he's not anymore. His biggest problem is figuring that football.
Calvillo nearly had a problem there. Tyrone Rogers nearly had him, but he's taking off. You don't see it often, but Anthony Calvillo nearly runs for a first down.
He watched Dunbrack, 9 sacks last year. Top of your screen right here. Watch this. Dunbrack, got to contain Fort, keeping them there, keeping them AC brace contained. Now it's a race, foot race. Anthony Calvillo is going to win that every time. Although Dunbrack's showing you some speed, and then AC inexplicably here doesn't lower his shoulder and pick up the first down. Puts him in a second and short situation. Maybe knows it's a long season.
And on this one, second and short. You know, my guess is the guy next to me would have put that shoulder down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, that was a smart play by Anthony. I wouldn't have thought about doing that.
My guess is Rod Rust is just saying, AC, you just go out of bounds. That's fine, right?
Well, that's probably why I'm up here in the box and not down there playing right now. But Anthony, smart play, get out of bounds, don't take the hit, use Heppel up in the middle and pick up an easy first down.
Rod Rust was the defensive coordinator the last couple of years for Charlie Taff, assuming the head coaching job, but he still runs that Montreal defense as well. But it's the offense that's the concern right now. Moving the ball again. Little shuffle pass to Pringle. He's got nothing but green in front and a touchdown, Alouettes.
That's beautiful, Rod. Simple play action. They know the defensive end's been looking for that, and they're going to start looking at it. And they draw him to him. They flip underneath. Watch Anthony. Play action. I'm going to Pringle. I'm going to bring you with me, Dunbrack. Slide right up in the middle. It's a walk-in. People love those. That's beautiful, beautiful offensive execution and strategy going into this football game.
Well, as you had said before, the drive for the Alouettes starts with Pringle. Well, that drive finished off with Pringle. On that touchdown, Terry Baker to convert it, as he does. And the two quick scores by the Alouettes with a flag down, however, on that convert. It's a Pringle touchdown. That definitely counts. And a 10-point lead for Montreal here on Wendy's CFL Live.
Five yards on the kickoff.
Canadians have places to go.
Danny Machocha has shown he knows how to offense coordinate. They've been using Pringle in the play action. Look at him. He's got a good sweat going. Machocha's saying that's the way to do it. That's what we talked about. AC simply fakes here. Dunbrack, who's right here on the end line of scrimmage, knows he's got contained. They've seen this now several times. What do? They draw him out. Flip a little nice soft shove up underneath the Pringle. Everybody's running their man off and outside, and he's got a nice lane for walking into the first score of the season.
And Anthony Calvillo, 5 for 6 for 71 yards in that touchdown pass to Mike Pringle, and Baker kicking it off. The Argos in a hole early. Darryl Mitchell. And he's hauled down at the 25. Good special teams coverage on a 10-yard return there for the Argos. 7 plays, 65 yards in just over 4 minutes time, and a 10-0 lead now. Appel with a big catch on that drive.
Not an enviable position to be in. This guy's having a field day already in the first quarter. They're down 10-0, and Montreal is flexing their muscles early in this football game.
In week 2 last year, the Argos were 1-0 coming in, and they got pounded by 39 points by the Alouettes, and that one goes off Mookie Mitchell's hands, so it's a struggle early on all around for Toronto.
Well, Rod, they're doing the right things here. They're just not executing. You try to get something going, hit a nice simple play action pass in the flat there to Mitchell, and they can't connect. It's early. You're going to see those type of things within this offense because John Jenkins' style offense is nothing but time in, and these guys just haven't had enough time at this point.
I mentioned Kerwin Bell at his best year ever under John Jenkins in '98. And so too did Mookie Mitchell. 160 catches that year. Most of them from Bell. Got a shotgun again on 2nd and 10. Airs it out. Coverage is there. No flag down. Irv Smith on the coverage of Grayson Shillingford. You hear the fans thinking it should have been interference.
Plenty of protection with only 5 offensive linemen there. They went 6-pack, had everybody out of the backfield. Kerwin's on the zone, had plenty of time, simply didn't connect. It's not a good sign for the Argonauts, down 10-0, 3:04 left in the first quarter. This football team needs to have something positive to them before they dig themselves too big a hole.
It looks like a defense, the Argo defense, that could have used a little bit more of a rest as well. The way things have gone, the way Montreal is so confidently moving the football right now. That was D'Amico Archangel, the diminutive return man for the Alouettes, standing back at his 41 for this one from Scott McKenzie. Good punt. Archangel with it, the rookie. Inside his 40. He's got great speed, but he won't get to use it here. There's Brad Elbert, one of the many Argos to take him down as he loses some after a 44-yard punt. Alouette football. Matt Dunnigan back at Skydome. 10-0 Alouettes. Their football inside the 40, and Pringle's running again. Mike Pringle with his second rushing first down. He is the touchdown in this game. And boy, Matt, the Alouettes early on look so confident they haven't missed a beat.
They really haven't, and Rod, they're doing it with 3 simple things: to run to Pringle, the play action and the boot off of that, and then they added and gave him something else to think about, and that's a simple shovel underneath. 3 plays, and they're taking the ball up and down the football at will against the Toronto defense. Danny Machocha's having a wonderful time. Look at him. It's great when things are like this, Rod. You can signal anything in, but right now he's working off at 3 plays. Anthony knows it. He's got the team rolling. All you got to do is keep that car on the road and just continue to have a good drive.
And there's a delay in play, and Toronto linebacker Donovan Carter is down around the Montreal 50 and being tended to. Their first pick in last year's draft.
Rod, they're already kind of short at that linebacker spot. Vernon Mitchell's down, so Donovan Carter has kind of stepped in to take over that position there. They had a man step into camp that they felt really good about in Neal, and he went down with a knee injury, so they're kind of getting limited at that Will linebacker spot, or excuse me, that Sam linebacker spot, which is strong linebacker. A guy that's expected to cover a lot. Donovan Carter's kind of a tweener. You've seen a lot of teams go to that style of linebacker. A guy that can come up, stop the run. He's big enough to do that and yet cover like a defensive back.
A Canadian in his second year out of Northern Illinois, and he is off. Putting more pressure on that Argo defense. Montreal with 114 yards offense. Toronto with 6. And add up about another 5 or 6 yards for the Alouettes. Mike Pringle again.
Interesting enough, who does Montreal run the ball against? Right at Donovan Carter's replacement, Curtis Galick, number 29. He's a Sam linebacker. Curtis Galick, although he's big for a defensive back, he's not a linebacker, so Montreal sees this, knows they're going to pound Heppel right up at him behind that big offensive line and give the ball to Pringle and turn up some more yards.
So that's a gain of about 5 yards. 2nd and 5, Alouettes. The third drive of the game. Excuse me, their fourth. The other two produced points, and that one overthrown looking for Thomas Haskins. And so Terry Baker will have to punt for the second time this game.
That's one they'd like to have back right there. Again, Haskins trying to get involved in the ball game. Anthony probably would like to have that one back because you don't want Haskins, you know, catching 40 and 50-yard bombs. You want him to catch a simple throw underneath, make somebody miss, and then go 40 or 50 for the major. They're talking about it right now. Going, hey, everything's all right. They're just poor. I got to check down. Pringle saying I did something wrong there, so everybody's accepting the responsibility within this offense right now and having a good day at it.
Adrian Smith, the lone man back for the Argos to take this punt from Terry Baker, standing at his 41. 10-0 Alouettes. Baker fakes. He takes off and he throws it and completes it to Tracy Gravely. First down Alouettes. We're seeing it all early, and flags are down after Gravely goes down.
Oh, I love listening to you, Ron. This is great. Oh, yeah. You surprised, and everybody else in the Sky Dome surprised as well.
Look at the look on Baker's face. A pickup of 22 yards. That'll help the old completion percentage.
Ineligible receiver, Montreal number 7.
Well,
Repeat third down.
it would have helped had Tracy Gravely been eligible. So here we go.
Hey, Tracy, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. I love it. I love it. He knows it, too. He knows he got caught. Hey, this looks like a pretty good-looking play, though.
But you know, if it'd been like a 68 or something like that, you would have thought immediately he's not eligible. 7.
Yeah.
Receiver's number.
Yeah.
He looks eligible.
Alfred Jackson.
That's right.
Yeah, he's there. Somebody fix his shoulder pad. Help him out.
So to Baker, I guess it was worth the gamble, except this time instead of kicking from the 41, it'll be the 31 and the 10-yard penalty for ineligible receiver. Takes some chances with a 10-point lead and a low driving punt this time for Adrian Smith, who takes it, and no yards will be the call as he took it at his 25. The Alouettes were covering easily inside that one. Argo fans, join AMJ Campbell at the next Argo home game, and for tickets you can call 416-489-ARGO. AMJ Campbell, the official movers of the Toronto Argos. We'll be here next week. Also, Winnipeg and Toronto. Bombers and the Argos, and another key game to start the season. Both these teams within their division. They were battling it for a playoff spot last year, so you saw the number where you can call and get some tickets if you want to go and watch the Argos take on the Bombers next week. Right now, the Bombers are concerned with another division rival they want to keep pace with, and they're not so far. At their 32, out of the shotgun is Bell. And he hands off, and it's a short gain for Toronto.
Swift Birch is flanking, and we've already seen him early in this football game. Swift Birch, number 90 for the Montreal Alouettes. He's got some great help and some size next to him now in Richard Filion and Charbonneau. Birch is no small man himself. 6'4", 6'5", 278 pounds on the rush end.
And his career began as an Argo. In the last play of the first quarter, Stephen Reed has pressure on Bell, and he takes him down. And on that note, a good way to seal off a quarter of dominance as the gun sounds for the Montreal Alouettes. Hoping their road ends in Montreal with a Grey Cup game. Get a lot of football, even in this game. But it's 10-0 Als as we head back to Dave Randorf.
Wendy's, CFL live at the quarter.
10-0 Montreal. We are wondering how the Alouettes would look, and they look like the Montreal Alouettes.
Yeah.
We are wondering how the Argonauts offense would look, and right now, Schultz, they look
They look average. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it very early, right in the pregame, that they're going to struggle on the offensive side of the football, and it did happen. The very first pass game, you see Kerwin Bell drop back. This is an extremely catchable football. They have not run these type of plays enough. On the other side, we said, well, the special teams may be a problem. Scott McKenzie kicked the football. This may have been a call from the bench, but I don't know. If you have a young kicker, make sure he kicks it out of the stadium. You're not going to fool anybody early in the game. If there's the penalty, which adds to the advancement of the football. And the strength right now is only on the defensive side. Early in the game, we see Alfred Payton getting sack number 117 or 118. Kind of easy to read early in the game where their strengths, their weaknesses are, and it has to change. It has to change, Eric.
Hey, Chris, and from Montreal's perspective, I mean, this is nothing simple, nothing fancy. They're just controlling the line of scrimmage, running the ball and eating up the clock, and keeping that Toronto defense on the field far too long. We played 15 minutes, 1 quarter. Toronto's given up more sacks than they have first downs. 0 first downs in the first quarter. That wears out your defense. That's got to change, Dave.
And obviously, Toronto's main offensive weapon is Daryl Mookie Mitchell, and the Montreal Alouettes are well aware of that. Interesting to note that last season, in 2 games that he played against them, Montreal held Mookie to just 35 yards receiving in their 2 games. We send you back to Skydome, where it's 10-0 Montreal.
Mike Clements is 36 years of age. When he was born, Rod Rust was 36 years of age. The youngest and oldest coaches, they have one thing in common. It is their first season opener as a CFL head coach. What a career Rust has had in the NFL. He was a head coach of the New England Patriots. And before that, he was an assistant under Marv Levy when the Alouettes won a Grey Cup back in 1974. You all know about Pinball Clements and what he has done as a player and as a coach. 6-4 last year when he took over the team from John Hewitt. Different backgrounds, but a meaningful game tonight, and it's all Alouettes so far. And Scott McKenzie punts it away. D'Amico Archangel. And he has nowhere to go. Good coverage on punt returns there by the Toronto Argonauts after a 43-yard punt and no return for Archangel. The stats tell the story so many times, and they certainly do here, Matt.
All right, it is almost embarrassing right now at this point. Toronto needs to turn it around. They've dominated. Alouettes have dominated in everything. Just circle this whole category over here, because right now, this here, you can just put a big X over that. That is not what the Toronto offense is looking for. Hey, but within John Jenkins' style of offense, it can turn it around in a hurry.
But Mike Clements, always the optimist, and he has started his head coaching assignment this year without his defensive coordinator, Rich Stubler, and man who could be a special teams coach, Jeff Reinbold. That still to be sorted out. Some other things to be sorted out, too. It is 10-0 on Wendy's CFL Live in the second.
Play Safeway's Mills.
10-0 down to the sidelines now, and John Liu. John?
Hi, Rod. Thanks. And I just want to let you know I had a chance to catch the Argos rock and roll pregame tailgate party. And contrary to what we were led to believe, as you'll see momentarily, it was not a bikini contest, but rather a T-shirt giveaway by women in bikinis. And this was a marketing initiative put together by former CFL president, now Argos president, Jeff Giles. And Giles has always considered the Argos the league's marquee team, so he's willing to do whatever he can to put fans in the stands. But Rod, as you and I both know, nothing attracts fans like a winning team. And so to that end, the Argos absolutely have to get off to a quick start, not just tonight, but in their first 3 games all at home.
And John, as you and I both know, the reason we're not hearing from you until the second quarter is because you're just getting back from that, aren't you? Swinging it out on first down to Tyree Davis, his first catch of the game. And a short gain it is. That quick hitch and about 2 yards for the Owls.
Nevertheless, Rod, I appreciate John's efforts in getting us that piece. Well done, John.
Thank you. I had fun.
I bet you did. So back to watch some football now, and the Alouettes clearly controlling this game, although a short gain on that one. It'll be second and long for Montreal. How about those numbers? Talk about efficiency, and he is efficient so far, completing 3/4 of his passes and 1 touchdown. And Montreal in control in this first half. Lots of time to dump it off. Pringle again. He's catching it, he's running with it, and he gets well over midfield down inside the Toronto 50. So the sticks move again for the dominant Alouettes.
Everybody drops off into zone coverage. Pringle checks his man. You see him check right there. O'Shea drops off. Pringle just comes out here, sits down, 6 yards, catches the ball, turns it up, untouched for 8, picks up an easy first down. Anthony Calvillo is a smart quarterback, developed into one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the history of the Canadian Football League. You see why? To just take what the defense gives him is not trying to force the issue.
And look at Pringle's receiving yardage as the flag goes down just as they try to get it off. They didn't get it off in time. But Pringle, 24 yards and 2 catches. You should start going for that reception record as well.
Oh, that's all the league needs.
Yeah, that's right.
Have to worry about him receiving the ball, too.
Procedure. Montreal number 53. Still first down.
It's the left tackle, Uzumo Okeke, called on that procedure call. One of the few things that has gone wrong to the Alouettes so far tonight is it puts the ball back to midfield.
Just look at this guy. Just look at his neck. He's got no neck. And then his cannons. I mean, they're just, that is chiseled, folks. That hurts when it hits you.
And he's got it again. Looking to put a hurt on, but the Argos, 2 of them wrapped up. A gain of about 5 yards. So they get the Mike O'Shea taking him down, but the penalty yardage back.
Yeah, but Mike O'Shea is a big man. He's 6'3", 240 pounds. Look at him. I mean, this is a big man. O'Shea is right here, and Pringle's he's gonna step up in the hole and meet him. He bounced off the tackle, boom, he's flat-footed. Now he takes him to his knees, and Pringle pushes him back another 3 yards. Whew.
O'Shea, one of the few, maybe the only one, who knows the Argo-Ticat rivalry from both sides twice back with the Argos. Where he won a couple of great cuts. Now it's complete to Jock Climbing. Inside the 15 still and inbounds, and now he's finally written out.
Jock thought he had a little bit more to work with there, then he realized, no, here comes the posse, I'm getting out of bounds. Yeah, Anthony's been dinking him, underneath, hand the ball off. Number 82, Jock Climbing, getting her done. He's the inside man right here. Watch him. Hard there. Sticks him to the post, goes to the corner, turns the defender completely around, breaks the tackle, had ideas of taking it to the end zone, and said, nah, I'm just going to get out of bounds.
Finally, Wayne Shaw rides him up, and a 35-yard gain for Climbing the Owls inside the Argo 15. Pringle, head down, pulling his way inside the 10.
Oh. That time, I'm just a little bit late getting to the hole. O'Shea's going, oh, man, I got to be there earlier. Because if not, I'm going to be on the receiving end. Here comes sliding. O'Shea hits him right there, and then goes for a ride. That is just impressive. That's why he's so close to being the all-time leading rusher in the Canadian Football League.
They have a 10-point lead, and they're inside the Argo 10 early in the second quarter, threatening to add to it. Calvillo out of the shotgun. And looking end zone. Just shy, intercepted, Adrian Smith. No. The drive stops this time. The Argos turn it over. What a big break, Toronto. That's what they needed.
Anthony knows he should have held this or thrown it up into the stands. He's looking hard right, pops left. He's got plenty of time. Checks down, throws an errant ball. Adrian Smith just cuts up underneath and gets a big turnover. They didn't need to dig themselves in any deeper of a hole. And Anthony knows he should have sailed that one and mailed it to the upper seats there, taking the 3 points. But he tried to force it, and it cost his team field position in the ball.
And Adrian Smith says, not this time. The drive stops, but can the Argos do anything with it? After bottling it, Bell gets it up to Daryl Mitchell. He's got lots of yardage and still going. What a game for Toronto. Easily their best of the day as they get it up across through 35.
Well, as Kerwin Bell peels himself up off the turf one more time. Ball was a little high, bad snap. Oh, it was low, excuse me. Kerwin has to find it, locate it. Thank goodness they had a quick screen on to the short side of the field. Takes an unnecessary hit, and they never saw the magic that Mitchell creates right here.
That was a great combination 3 years ago for the Argos. Here's Michael Jenkins. Tries to cut back inside, met by the sea of white, and he is getting nothing. Loses a yard.
Looking at Kerwin, he's taking a licking already. But he's been known throughout his career to be tough, hard-nosed. When you're a pocket passer with limited mobility, you have to be tough. Takes right here, gets stapled right on the shoulder. Oh, and then it looked like Charbonneau came up over the top and landed on him to add injury to insult. He's a tough cookie, otherwise he would have been in the league as long as he is.
They'll call it a gain of 1. Favorable spot as they throw it off to Jenkins. Might have a first down. He's close. Just about to the marker at the 47.
Smart play, simple rollout, put Mookie in the boundary, Mitch on the boundary, give it to him, let him do his thing. Utilize the people around you, start dealing the football, spread the defense out, don't let them pin the ears back. The quick screen has opened up this whole drive. It's giving the defense something to think about, going from sideline to sideline instead of having to worry about or thinking about just coming right at the Kerwin who's sitting right in the middle of the pocket the whole time.
And they bring the sticks out and they confirm it is indeed a first down at the Argo 47. 9:12 to go until halftime. And it could have been a whole lot worse for Toronto the way Montreal has moved this ball. They're only down by 10. They could have been down by a lot more, obviously, had Adrian Smith not intercepted that Anthony Calvillo pass.
See pinball watching John Jenkins signal the play in. Jenkins has already sent it in. He's checking out what he's called. It's been a good drive thus far.
As Bell audibles and will take it out of the shotgun with 3 to the right. Throws it off to Tyrone Brown. Complete. And Brown has another Argo first down. He's inside the Alouette 50.
Bell taking another lick. But he's getting the ball off and they're moving the chains. This protection will get better and this ball will be delivered without him getting hit. But they are bringing people. It's kind of laid to the turf there, but those add up throughout the course of the ball game. It's kind of like a boxer working the body, continue going to the body, then later on in the rounds and fight, it starts taking its toll, and that will definitely add up with Kerwin Bell if he keeps getting hit like that.
The Argos' third first down of this drive. Low shotgun snap with a flag down, and beyond the arms of Mookie Mitchell there. Ball's incomplete. Let's see what the call is. You know, until this drive, 10-0 wasn't just the score in points, it was the score in first downs as well.
Offside. Montreal number 69. Repeat first down.
So the momentum continues to swing. An offside against the Alouettes and a 1st and 5 now. I was mentioning though, Matt, it was 10-0 in first down for the Alouettes, and now 3 straight first downs for the Argos and the penalty. Rod Russ suddenly has some defensive concerns, and we'll find out more when we come back on CFL Live. A year ago at this time, this guy had the pads on and ending up a remarkable career as a player, and what a difference a year makes. He took over after John Heward led the Argos to a 1-6-1 record, and Pinball Clements definitely turned this team around, Matt.
Similar to the way that Danny Barrett and Roy Shivers did in Saskatchewan. Created an environment that the players wanted to come be involved with, and hopefully it'll carry over this season.
A very nice drive for the Argos, their first good drive. First drive of any sorts, and it won't continue had that been caught, and it looked like it would have been. Speaking too soon in the interceptions there. Smith looked like he had it, but it fell out. So another good break for the Argos.
Hey, Kerwin's got a strong arm, but, you know, he's going one way and he's throwing another and the ball sails on him. It's going to do that for any young quarterback. You've got to get your hips and your shoulders going the right direction. Kerwin's a strong arm quarterback. He's been doing it a long time. He's made those throws in the past, but this one gets away from him.
About midway through the second, and it's 2nd and 5. Into the shotgun again. Bell throwing quickly, and he has a man that time. Grayson Shillingford, product of UBC, and he has another first down, the 4th of this drive for the Argos, inside the 30-yard line. Montreal.
John Jenkins really likes Grayson Shillingford. He says that he's really been a surprise during their training camp. He's stepped up, and he really understands and is flourishing within this system. He runs crisp, clean routes, and that's exactly what you need to do if you're going to be in John Jenkins' offensive philosophy.
Well, John Jenkins said they would pass a lot, and they have. 11 passes, only 2 running plays. And passing again here. Archie Amerson, the ex-Ticat, on the receiving end of that one. His first catch of the game. It's for a loss of a yard, however.
Now, contrast to Schillingford being able to run crisp, clean routes. It's just the contrary situation with Emerson. John Jenkins would like to see Emerson run more crisp, clean routes, more precise, and that gives a quarterback to understand where he's going to be all the time. And this is why you see Emerson having to be utilized underneath on quick screens and whatnot, because John just doesn't feel comfortable with him pushing up in the defense does it yet.
8th play of this drive. 2nd down and long. Bell nearly wrapped up. He throws it away. And so it's a field goal situation for the Argos, who desperately need to get something on the board here in this first half with 6:05 to go.
Well, was it Giancola? Was it Marini? Was it Giancola? Was it Marini? Well, it's Marini, and let's see if that choice pays off, because this is what the coaches have to do during training camp, is they have to decide what's their best bet. Who do you go with? And you know, fortunately for Toronto, Dan Giancola is still in town, and he's on the sidelines right now. Sweet shirt, nice shirt, Dan, and the shoes to boot. He needs to be down at the docks. But let's see if Marini can't get the Argonauts on the board here and back in this ballgame.
Giancola doesn't need the kicking shoes on tonight. It is Jacob Marini. 37 out to put 3 on the board, and he does. So the Argos should be encouraged by the fact that after the interception they drove back, and now it's a 10-3 game here in the second in Toronto.
This is so cool. Loaded with lots of stuff. Totally fun to drive. All at a sweet 179 beans a month.
Oh, yeah. Our Elantra is not only the coolest looking sedan around. At $199 a month, it's nothing to sweat about.
Finding a car that spoils me with the kind of stuff you normally find on expensive cars? Now that's cool.
Right now, get a cool summer deal on a new Hyundai. Cool.
See that? Well, that's the big, bold taste of bullseye. And that? Well, that's your cowardly taste buds.
Sports. Argo fans join the Sun at the next Argo home game. For tickets, call 416-489-ARGO. The Toronto Sun, you live sports, so do we. That next game, we'll have it here on TSN as well. Winnipeg and Toronto next Friday. There's the number to call if you want to get some tickets. And Pinball Clements, optimistic at the best of times, optimistic at the worst of times, and feeling better about the fact that his team drove 73 yards for a field goal, 37-yarder by Jacob Marini. So they're on the board and down by 7. It is 10-3 Montreal with 5:40 to play until halftime. And Marini on to kick it again. Down for Archangel at the 15. Good speed up the middle. And taken down across his 35. Last time the Alouettes had the ball, they had a great drive, but it was snuffed out. An interception by Adrian Smith of Anthony Calvillo. As you look at Thomas Haskins.
Anthony Calvillo's Dan Machocha tells me that he distributes the ball better than a quarterback we all may be familiar with in the past. And Tracy Ham, he feels that AC has a better ability of distributing the ball across the width of the football field, whereas Tracy likes to feed it to his slot back. So everybody gets a chance to touch the ball a little bit more with AC under the center than maybe Tracy Ham.
Play back rolling out. Calvillo running around now, and that goes back to his left side. This is the second time tonight we've seen him take off, and he has a first down rushing. Not known as a running quarterback, certainly not the way Tracy Ham was.
No, he's certainly not. He certainly can't run the ham bone. But I tell you what, Anthony Calvillo is an underrated runner. He's got some good wheels, and he showed it to us several times tonight. And he's got good heads-up, smart play here because, you know, if he takes this shot here, going back to a play they have in the first quarter, if he takes a shot there, takes too many of those, they don't have much experience behind him because Gonzalez is very limited in his experience in the CFL.
Well, cut Stanley Jackson, the experience back up. There's Mike Pringle rumbling again. So a couple of ground gains. And Pringle, you're used to seeing as he gets another first down. Montreal controlling this game again on the line of scrimmage and running that football.
Well, it must have felt like forever for Pringle since the last time he touched a football with that long drive Toronto had. Ate up some time on the clock. And then he's on the sidelines, and well, look, he lost his sweat. You got to work up a sweat again. He keeps cutting a rock like that for 10 yards a pop. He's going to be just fine.
He had over 1,700 yards rushing last season. He had 19 rushing touchdowns, a record, but that time he's going nowhere. His old teammate, Swack, Alfred Payton, takes him down for a loss, and looks like they had a few words about it afterwards, Matt.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, Rod. Is, you know, Swack has got his motor running just a little faster tonight because he is up against his old teammates, and he knows that. And we saw it from the first series on. He's flying around making things happen. And he snuck through there and stuck his old teammate right in the mouth and said, "Hello, remember me? I'll be on you all night long."
The loss at 2nd and long. Calvillo sets up again. Oh, it's caught. Would have been an easy catch. Jock Climbey couldn't hang on to it. Took a pop afterwards, but he was nice and open in what would have been a first down. Instead, on comes the kicking team.
Jock knows it. Danny knows it. Jock's disappointed. Yeah, AC knows it too. He wishes that he probably could have made a better throw, maybe a little more out in front of him. But he's got to squeeze this ball. He kind of went in between his shoulder, you know, of catching it in his shoulder pads in his hands and went on the ground. Just lost a little bit of concentration. It's the third time we've seen Montreal stop themselves tonight on drives by lack of execution.
And this time Terry Baker stands at his 46-yard line to get it away. Adrian Smith back for it toward Toronto. Good punt. Baker chasing him nearly to the goal line. Smith picks up a block and gets it out to the Argo 10, but once again Kerwin Bell will be hemmed in deep after a 47-yard punt by Terry Baker. Last-minute instructions from John Jenkins for Bell coming on. And Wendy's CFL Live from Toronto.
The Toronto Sun, #1 in sports. Argo fans, join the Sun at the next Argo home game. For tickets, call 416-489-ARGO. The Toronto Sun. You live sports. So do we.
Back at Skydome, Archie Amerson has just caught a pass from Kerwin Bell for a first down. They were starting at their 10-yard line, but now they're out across their 25. So the Argos trying to move again with just under 3 minutes to go, and they're trailing 10-3 in Toronto.
In the world.
John Jenkins' offense starting to settle down a little bit now. They had a nice long drive over 70 yards last time, and they've had one play of this one hemmed in deep, but it resulted in a nice play to Archie Amerson, Matt, that's got them some breathing room.
That's right, and they used Archie effectively, similar to how Danny McManus would in Hamilton, on a drag pattern, coming across, running away from people, putting him in a situation where he's not expected to run a crisp, clean route. He just simply drags across the middle. There he is, cutting across the front of the defense. Simple throw, let him run away from people, pick up a good 15, 16 yards for you. That's the way to use Emerson, and that's how they're going to have to until he gets a better feel for John's offense.
Emerson had 4 years with the Ticats before signing on with the Argos this season as a free agent. Had his best year last year with Hamilton in terms of receiving, nearly 1,200 yards in reception yardage. Bell throws it off to his right, and that one is caught. Alfonso Browning, the ex-Alouette, with his first catch against his old team. Spent 2 years in Montreal. You can see what he did last season, so he must be fired up against his old club, and a good gain there on first down.
Big target out there, 6'2". Reminds me a lot of Gerald Alphin or Gerald Wilcox. Big target, great hands, ability to stretch the seam, make the tough catch across the middle. Boy, you know, tells you how good Kevin Alexander is for Montreal when you can make a guy like that expendable for a trade.
The Alouettes letting go. It's Toronto's gain on that one. On the toss to Michael Jenkins. First down and more outside their 40. This Argo offense has certainly woken up. Here in the second quarter, 6 first downs. In this quarter, they had none at all in the first quarter.
John Jenkins still continuing to send in plays to Kerr when he looks to the sideline, but what Kerr's done a good job this series, he's just checking off and going to some audibles out there on the football field.
Working at a shotgun again, over the middle. It's Jenkins receiving it a couple of yards. Michael Jenkins over 1,000 yards rushing last year. Hearing Pinball Clemens talk about him yesterday, Matt, it was when the question was brought up, it almost was like whispering, shh, we don't want anyone to know about this guy. It's like our little secret. He had that big game last year against Saskatchewan, but they seem to think, even with this passing-oriented offense, that he is going to do an awful lot for him this year.
It really is. Every time he touches the ball, he's dynamite and makes something happen.
Low pass there, Rebel to Grayson Shillingford.
Twice, same pattern. Kerwin Bell is limping on the side over there after that throw. He's going to hobble a little bit. Shillingford, boy, John Jenkins can't say enough about this boy. Right there. Oh, it looks like his ankle just rolled on at the bottom. That's a great catch going down low. Nobody else can catch it there except for the receiver. But right at the end of the play here, looks like Kerwin gets his ankle rolled right there. Kind of pops and hops and hobbles away. He's going down now. And it's not a good sign for the Argonauts, but I tell you what, they've got a capable backup in Jimmy Kemp as Kerwin Bell limps off the field here in the second quarter.
Jimmy Kemp started one of the preseason games for Toronto, and he is warming up now. As you can see, he's had starts before. He's got a lot of experience in the CFL going back to when it started back in Sacramento in 1994. He and Bell were actually teammates there briefly with the Sacramento Gold Miners when David Archer was the starter.
See Jimmy Kemp right there. Oh, Kerwin's going to suck it up and go with it. Hustling back onto the or hobbling back onto the football field. Of course, that's pretty much a full sprint for Kerwin.
So Kemp warms up, but it is still Bell in the game. And he's got another drive going. Wants to be a part of this. Slow snap out of the shotgun as he turns around and throws it out to Daryl Mitchell. Nothing doing at all. Lost yardage on that one. It'll be second and about 12 yards.
Well, you know, Kerwin's sucking it up here. He's showing you what type of a competitor he is. You know, he had a good feeling, a good long 72-yard drive to put 3 points on prior to this drive, and he's taken the ball quite a long ways in this drive. He doesn't want to come out. He knows how important this is to finish the half and possibly get a major on the board, get his team right back to even square with the Alouettes.
In the obvious passing situation now, setting up the screen. Jenkins trying to get outside, but he won't. Written out of bounds. William Loftus is there to finish it off. Nowhere near first down yardage.
Good overall defensive pursuit there. The ball's still underneath, and what the defense needs to do is rally to the ball. They need to get the posse going towards the football, and they get people out there in a hurry, and they shut them down, make them punt the ball away. Another look at it. Kerwin, just a simple dump. Just get his eyes down the field to draw the end up to him. And then you see Washington coming off. And you see Irv Smith coming out. And then the whole posse coming from the inside shuts down any type of lane that Michael Jenkins might have had to run through.
So Scott McKenzie stands inside his 50 to get this one away. If nothing else, they certainly improve field position on that drive. No points to show as it comes down. And a good return here. Montreal, Reggie Durden taking it out on that one. And it looked like the Alouettes were going to be hemmed in until that. A 26-yard return after a 41-yard punt for Reggie Durden.
Reggie Durden taking it back from Florida, a Florida State product, played in the XFL last year for the LA Extreme. Just saw a little seam, shows this little burst there. McKenzie does enough there to deflect him into a teammate. And see what Montreal does here with 42 seconds left. They're going to see if they can get a couple of quick first downs and then push the ball down into field goal range. I would think so. That's the difference in our game and that stuff they play south of the border.
And going back to what Toronto did on that drive, they started on their 10 before having to punt it away, but they did move it down so far that it could be difficult now for the Alouettes to get in any kind of shape for scoring points with only 42 left in the clock. And that would be certainly a victory for the Argos if they can head to the locker room only down by 7. It looked like it could have been a whole lot more. But Toronto's offense has woken up. Only 3 points to show, but at least showing they can move the ball. Calvillo to throw. Looking for good yardage. Jock climbing, making amends there with a big catch over midfield and a first down Alouettes, and they just might get in striking range with 36 to go.
Might. A couple more ahead. May have a chance to score twice before the end of the half. Right, I was looking at the formation prior to the start of that play, and they had 3-on-2 into the boundary, and AC elected to go to the field and do a strike to Climby, who was sure-handed on that play.
So inside midfield in Argo territory, setting one up. Thomas Haskins, and he gets outside, another first down and out of bounds, 24 on the clock. And now down to the 40, definitely within field goal range of Terry Baker. He has a 49-yarder so far.
Right, that's why they love this guy. That's why they promise every year to get the ball in this guy's hands more often. He makes O'Shea and Tagle look old. I mean, he just left him grasping at air. He's smart enough, savvy enough to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Ball's in the Argo 41. Montreal first down, 23 seconds until halftime. The Alouettes looking to build on a 7-point lead. Kevin Alexander was looking for it, but it was knocked away by Wayne Shaw.
Oh, that's upsetting to watch from up here, especially from the offensive perspective in the quarterback situation. Everybody's working so hard, then you get a receiver waiting for the ball to come to him. You can't throw perfect balls all the time. This one's almost end over end. Reminds me a lot of my throws, but Kevin Alexander doesn't work back to the football where the DB does. It's an incomplete ball, and they don't advance the football anywhere up the football field.
So it's second down and 10, 18 on the clock. Alouettes in field goal range. Thinking of something else, though. Airing it out for Ben Cahoon, but no. Good coverage there by Shaw again, and it falls incomplete in the end zone, so Baker will come on to attempt a 48-yarder. He had a 49-yarder in the first quarter.
Airing it out there the last two plays where they only need a couple of yards, 10 yards here, 5 yards there, and make it a more sure-handed field goal. But they're airing it out. AC wanted it all, maybe getting a little greedy. But certainly in the second to last play, Kevin Alexander could have had an opportunity to help him out coming back to that ball.
It's almost positives for both teams here. I mean, the Alouettes have clearly shown that, they can move the football, but I think there's been some moral victories there for the Argos. They could have been down by a lot more. Potentially down by 10 on the attempt here from 48 away. No, and they won't be down by 10 because it's wide. And it'll be run out by Mookie Mitchell. So there you go. Another play. He's still going. Darryl Mitchell's still going. And he's finally taken out at midfield with nothing left on the clock. What a break that could have been for the Argos if the Owls have been caught napping on the final play of the half. It is a 10-3 ball game, 30 minutes into the 2001 CFL season. A rough start for the Argos, but a strong finish. It's still the Alouettes on top as we head out back to CFL Live Control.
At the Half is brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL.
And welcome back to our CFL Live studio, everybody. Dave Randorf along with Eric Tillman and Chris Schultz. It is 10-3. The Argos can't be happy about it, but I'm sure under the circumstances they will take it. The story with the Argonauts for the first part of the season, while their offense gets underway, they are going to rely on guys, big-name guys in their defense, Eric, just guys like a Johnny Scott and Orlando Steinauer, Mike O'Shea, Calvin Tiggle, and Adrian Smith, who made a huge play in the second quarter, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did. And I think what we saw in the second quarter is the importance of protecting the football, particularly in the second quarter. That's absolutely critical. If you look at Anthony Calvillo on this play, he telegraphs the throw. Adrian Smith jumps the route. We had a little problem there.
And protected the play.
Yeah. Basically what I was trying to say, you have to get points when you're plus territory. You have to. You can't make a mistake like that. You had a chance to go up 13-0, even 17-0. You turn the ball over, Toronto comes down, score points, they're back in the game. In the Canadian Football League, you let people hang around long enough, Schulte, bad things happen.
And you know what? The very next play, the Argonaut offense started to get on the roll on a play where really Kerwin Bell improvised in the end zone. He almost had the safety on the end zone, ended up throwing a screen pass, and we saw the whole football team about 30 yards downfield. We saw Juan Roque, 6'8", 330 pounds downfield. Watch this. We see Kerwin Bell, low snap, loses contact, kind of throws it down to Jenkins. Now watch right here. Juan Roque, this is really unusual. 6'8", 350-pound man. Look at that. Passes up one guy, passes up another guy, but he's downfield. Watch the quick little celebration here. That's very nice.
Hey, Schulte, that looks like you.
No, not really. I tell you, that's the one guy the Toronto Argonauts can rely on is Juan Roque at right tackle. I think he's going to be a great one, David.
Well, one thing the Argonauts definitely have to improve upon is they've got to protect Kerwin Bell a little bit more, because he has taken an awful lot of hits in the first 30 minutes of football, that is for sure.
But they're in the game.
Yes, that's right. They will certainly take that. If you're thinking about going out to a game, well, you wonder where to get the tickets, here's where. Here's a look at the CFL ticket numbers from across the league as we head to break. We'll be right back.
Just a reminder,
July 4th, 1996, a battle of two of the greatest quarterbacks in CFL history. Doug Flutie in his first regular season start at Skydome as a member of the Argos, and Matt Dunnigan's second game as a member of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It was a classic. The game went back and forth. Earl Winfield's touchdown gave the Tabbies a 38-35 lead late in the fourth quarter, but Flutie drove the Boatmen right back downfield, and they had a chance to tie the game at the buzzer. But Mike Vanderjagt's 50-yard field goal was just wide. Hamilton wins a nail-biter, 38-36.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Dodge. For power, payload, and big rig styling, nothing beats a Dodge truck.
Oh, it's a good thing Dunnigan's down at Skydome, huh? He'd start telling us old stories about all his great wins, including that one. He's still got a half to go, and then he's going to hustle back from Skydome and join us here in the studio for Game 2 of our opening night doubleheader. It's going to be out west in Calgary as the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be at McMahon Stadium to take on the Calgary Stampeders. Winnipeg made the playoffs last season for the first time in 5 years. They won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Schulte, they showed pretty well in the East Final against Montreal. They're making progress, and now you feel they got to do, obviously, a couple more things this season to keep that ball rolling.
I tell you, if there's one thing the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have to do is they got to win the close games, especially in July. This team had so many games that they could have won, but they did not. Look at this, 32-28, 42-38, 51-49. All these losses in July but were like 1, 2, 3, 4 points. If the Winnipeg Blue Bombers can change that, start better in July, then they have an opportunity to have even a better position in the playoffs. How do you do that? I think a lot has to do with Kahari Jones making 1 or 2 more plays to get a Troy Westwood field goal, not necessarily from the 50-yard line, but from the 30 or the 25. If they win those close games, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers can have a great season.
The Calgary Stampeders have a situation at quarterback where there's a 1A and almost 1B. It's very close between Marcus Crandall and Ben Sankey, but Ben Sankey will be the starter for the Stamps tonight. That is obviously going to be one of the key players we'll watch. But who else is the key for the Stamps if they're to win tonight?
Well, like you said, all preseason the talk has been about the two quarterbacks, which one was going to go, and it's going to be Sankey. But I think the key to watch is a guy named Mark Boerichter. He's moving inside this year. He's replacing a guy named Alan Pitts. He has tremendous talent. There's a reason Calgary wins and wins and wins. It's because they do an outstanding job in personnel. The best way to help a young quarterback, protect him, run the football, and give him a lot of weapons, and he certainly has a lot of weapons. I think tonight you'll see big plays from Travis Moore, Mark Boerichter. That's why I think they get off to a fast start.
Quarterbacks love to get a little bit of help, and right now Kerwin Bell would like a little bit of help. Their offense started to roll a little bit in the end of the second half there, but we saw a lot of this. Number 14 picking himself up off the Skydome turf. Back in a moment.
Buddy.
Here are a look at the halftime numbers brought to you by Dodge. The Montreal Alouettes were way up in time of possession, but once Adrian Smith made that pick in the second quarter, the Argos offense got underway and they started to even things up a little bit. On that note, our John Lou spoke with the Alouettes head coach, Rod Rust.
Now, the interception by Adrian Smith seemed to temporarily take away some of the wind out of your team's sails. What do you need to do to get that momentum back that you'd established in the first quarter?
Well, you have to deal with adversity whenever it comes, and we let them move the ball then, and I don't know that they may have just got a little better organized, too. I'll give them credit for knowing what they're doing. Our guys will play hard, and we'll come back.
Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
So, Eric, what are the keys to watch for him? Game one.
Well, I think for Montreal, it's pretty simple. Keep doing what you've been doing. It's working. Control the line of scrimmage. Hey, they had the ball 18 minutes in the first half. 18 minutes. The turnover hurt them, but still, I think this is a fine football team. Don't lose your composure. You're on the road, you're ahead at halftime.
Right.
That's not bad, Chris.
And for Toronto, you can see they got some momentum back on offense in terms of 1 or 2 big plays. If they just can get some of that rhythm in offense, it will be a closer game in the second half.
It is a close game. As mentioned, the Alouettes will take it 10-3 at the half. Second half action coming up right after this. You're watching Wendy's CFL Live.
2 quarterbacks emerging from the locker room, and a much different half for Anthony Calvillo, but only 7 more points to show for it. And Kerwin Belmat showing something in the later drives in the second quarter.
Yeah, well, with Anthony in that shot there, it looks like it's the first game of the season. With Kerwin, it looks like it's the last game of the season. And we only played 1 half here.
He's been beaten up in that first half, and on the kickoff, it's Argo football and Archie Emerson on the return. Still on his feet with the flag going down to the 27. Looks like a face mask call. Here's John Liu with the head coach of the Argos, Mike Pinball Clements.
Okay, Coach, kind of a rough first quarter, but your offense especially really seemed to gel in the second quarter. Can you just comment on their efforts?
You know, real solid effort coming back from a first quarter that was put them in bad field position for one thing and never got off. We made a few little miscues and kept going 2 and out. Really responded to that. The guys are really starting to come together, believe in this offense.
Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bill.
And a good start for Pinball Clements' Argos. Jimmy Kemp is the starting quarterback now. The quarterback, I should say. The starter is there. Kerwin Bell on the sideline, injured as we saw in the first half, and is not out to get things going in the second. Kemp out of the shotgun. Dumping it off with another flag down. Michael Jenkins, and a big loss on that play down near the 35. He goes down to the Argonauts. It was when Ed Fillion rolled on the ankle of Kerwin Bell. It looks like he is still trying to shake it off. And
Offside. Montreal number 98. Repeat first down.
So another penalty going against the Alouettes. Off the kickoff, there was a face mask that moved the Argos along, and then that one against Steve Charbonneau.
Oh, look at Masadi giving Kerwin some little tips on what to do and see how you feel. See if it hurts when you do this, Kerwin. You all right? Okay, good. Right. Look at him. He's looking like a GM.
He wears that suit well now, general manager.
Smooth. He looks like he should be on GQ.
A few years ago, it was Kerwin Bell throwing passes to Paul Mazzotti. Now it's Mazzotti checking in on one of his players, his starting QB. Jimmy Kemp hands off. Another flag down on that play, and Michael Jenkins on the carry. But Paul Mazzotti, a long-time Argo, Matt, you played with him, threw a touchdown pass to him in the 1991 Grey Cup. Distinguished CFL career.
He's in a different role now, and as general manager. And I tell you, I sat down with him for quite some time yesterday, and I really appreciate Paul's candidness and ability to look at himself and just understand his shortcomings, his strengths and weaknesses. He knows he doesn't have the experience in this job, but the fact of the matter is, Paul's where he's at. He's doing a fine job. He's got one real cloud hanging over his head right now, and that's the fact that the D coordinator and the special teams coach haven't showed up. That's out of his hands. Stubler will be here, and who knows about Reinbold.
Reinbold, sure.
But Paul Masadi's doing a fine job, and I'm happy for him.
Well, that penalty was against the Argos for procedure, so it goes back to a 1st and 10, and throwing over the middle. Jimmy Kemp to Archie Emerson completing.
Speaking of John Jenkins all day yesterday, he tells me that, hey, the other biggest surprise in camp was this man, Jimmy Kemp, number 15. He likes his smarts, he likes his ability to read, and he likes his mobility. So I think all those 3 of those things are certainly keys in being able to run John Jenkins' offense effectively. Jimmy Kemp is going to play a big factor in what happens with the Toronto Argonauts this year because of this and what we've seen already here in this game. Quarterbacks do have a tendency to take a licking in this offense. John knows he needs a quality backup, and he has one in Jimmy Kemp.
An injury timeout on the field with 13:40 to go until the end of the third quarter. 10-3 Montreal and Wendy's CFL Live.
Play Safeway's $1 million.
Argos starting quarterback Kerwin Bell remains on the sideline. Here's John Liu with an update. John?
Well, Rod, the situation with Kerwin Bell is somewhat questionable. He's feeling stiffness and pain in his left foot when he plants to throw. Now, he's trying to stay flexible. He's on the sidelines throwing, but it is questionable whether he'll get back in. The coaching staff is being conservative with him just to be on the safe side.
So Jimmy Kemp continues to work for Toronto to the shotgun on second down. Another flag goes down. A lot of them lately could be holding against the Argos as Kemp carries it for about 5, but it could be all for naught. Punting situation anyway, if it is indeed against the Argos.
Holding. Toronto number 69. Decline. Third down.
The right guard, Chris Gilbert, called for the hold, and it's declined, and it'll be punted away. As Pinball Clemens continues to shout encouragement to his team that is down by 7 early in this second half. D'Amico Archangel down at his 23. Oh, good return this time. It's got some speed. Look at him get outside. Archangel gets it up at midfield. So a good place for the Alouettes to start here in the second half. They're up by 7 and they have the ball on Wendy's CFL Live at Skydome.
If you buy one of those huge new SUVs, you might want to plan on a new garage, too. But with Dodge Durango, you get plenty of room inside.
And welcome back to Skydome and Wendy's CFL Live. The Alouettes and Anthony Calvillo leading the way. A productive offense so far, but only a 7-point lead here in the third quarter, 10-3. Second in efficiency last year, and he is pretty efficient tonight, man, 10 for 16.
Not bad at all. The only people that stopped him is themselves.
The one interception was really costly to Adrian Street in the first half, and they keep it on the ground that time. Short gain from midfield they worked. Mike Pringle's number called again at about 3 yards.
Yeah, imagine they'll start feeding the ball to Pringle just a little bit more, get back in the groove of, and the things that got them that early lead was feeding off of the Pringle run and the play action, the boot, and the shovel off of that. And I imagine we'll see a little bit more of that.
He's had 10 carries for 59 yards. And he's had some receptions as well. A couple of them up over 20 yards there. So it's 2nd and 8 on the gain of a little more than 2. Good coverage. Comes down on the hands of Jock Climby.
Oh, what a catch.
And he had Argos all over him. And a lot of pressure, too, in Calvillo.
You need 7, 8 yards here. And he sets up. He's kind of locked on target. Stands in there. He just heaves it. Barely, almost got his finger broken on somebody's helmet. And threads the needle or climbing right in between 3 defenders. I don't know how he came down with that one. That was magic. Magic.
Byron Capers, Curtis Gaelic, Wayne Shaw, all in there, all over him. He still caught the ball. Here's Pringle. Trying the left side. And he's taken down by Alfred Payton.
This is exactly what Toronto wants from the Alouettes, is to get number 27 shoulders going from sideline to sideline instead of north and south. Here we see everybody trying to reach and just keep running down the line of scrimmage, let Pringle find a hole, but his shoulders get turned to the sidelines. He loses all his power, and Pursuit's able to run him down, and he's relatively becomes an average back at that point as opposed to running with the shoulder and level down hard through the tackles.
Well, his last 2 carries have produced only 3 yards, so that's not bad. 2nd down and 9. Calvillo had a man in the end zone, Kevin Alexander, but a flag goes down as he gets strung out and heads on out of bounds. He was looking end zone.
Well, he had
Alexander there.
He had Alexander there. He's 6 yards behind everybody. He just couldn't see him because he was running and running for his life. And to the O-line's credit, they were trying to help him. Here he's rolling out. He's hard. Alexander's wide open in the end zone, but he can't see him because he's got pressure in his face, so he's just going to get out of bounds. And this is that's kind of late there, right in front of 43's.
Holding. Montreal number 33. Repeat, second down.
Called against Bruno Happel, a holding penalty.
And that was just probably positioning on his part. Didn't position himself properly, but this, you know, AC I thought got a little late hit there out of bounds. You know, star in the league. You might want to think about protecting him. Throw that flag early, send a message across the league.
Lots of penalties, especially early in this second half. The ball's pushed back to the 38 as he throws quickly to Alexander. Finds him this time. Much shorter yardage. Still on the move. Good speed outside. He ran right across and gets corralled out of bounds. After a good gain, they get a lot of it back. Remember, it was second down and 20, so it'll set up a field goal situation.
Alexander from Utah State, Anthony Cavill's alma mater. He's on the inside. He's going to simply come underneath. He's right here. He's just going to come underneath, catch the ball, and start running away from people. I saw him yesterday, and this guy's put on a good 10 to 15 pounds during the offseason. I don't know if that was necessary, if that was on purpose, or if he just, you know, had an enjoyable offseason. But he looks thick. He's a great receiver. So great. He gave the Alouettes the opportunity to trade away Alfonso Browning to the Argonauts.
Terry Baker's 2 for 2 in field goals tonight from 49 and 48. This one's 31. Much shorter, and it's good. So 3 more points on the board, and a 13-3 lead for the Alouettes.
Alexander was simply magic last year, Rod. Every time he touched the ball, big plays were happening, and he and AC just seemed to have a unique bond from the get-go, and it was fun to watch. And again, he shows you his ability to make people miss and get the yards after the catch for you that you look for in a receiver, and he's exciting. He certainly belongs here in the CFL.
Do you find different places that you have one receiver in particular that you have that bond with? You played in a lot of different CFL cities.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the receiver in particular, his understanding of the defense, because the quarterback certainly understands the defense, what he's looking at, strengths and weaknesses, areas he's got to throw the ball, the timing of it. As soon as a receiver can get on that same page and have that same identical understanding, the better off they're going to be.
So out of the shotgun after that Alouette field goal. The Argonauts scrimmage from the 35. That's complete. Coming back to the ball there for the reception. And another flag is down, and this could be holding against the Argos. It's Mookie Mitchell on the receiving end of it, but it's all for naught. This one's coming back.
Holding. Toronto number 69. Repeat, first down.
Another penalty against Chris Gilbert, the right guard.
There he's right there, second from the right. See the perpetrator? I tell you what happened there. Jimmy Kemp got out and around the pocket. Shouldn't have. Gilbert wasn't expecting him to get out there. Jimmy needed to set his feet and throw that ball from the pocket behind the outside leg of the guard. And he ran out. Gilbert wasn't ready for it and held on.
First and 20 now. Kemp with time. And it's complete to Jenkins. Lots of room ahead of him. Jenkins gets it all back and then some. Across the Argo 50, close to midfield, and a big first down Toronto. 28 yards.
Swift first does a great job of pressuring Jimmy Kemp and bearing down on him here, and then Jimmy Kemp does an even better job of keeping his poise. Swift first, 278 pounds, bearing down on you. I don't know how many people can keep their poise in this situation. Jimmy does. He keeps his eyes downfield, sidearms it, and slips it to Jenkins. Look at that. Look at that. That's great vision there by Jimmy Kemp. He did a lot of that last year. We saw it, but now he's in a more fixed offense. He should flourish in this year.
There was no way he was throwing it over Swift, so very good by Kemp to throw it around him, sidearm. Back to pass again. Under pressure, they've got him. In the sack. And it's Steve Charbonneau in there. Buries Kemp back at the Argo 45.
It's got to feel good for Steve. Missed last year's Grey Cup with an ankle injury a couple of days before the game. He comes around the outside on Roquet and simply just beats him. Here he is on the outside, Roquet number 68, getting beat to the outside. Jimmy just kind of drifted too far in the pocket, ran right in the lane for Steve Charbonneau to sack up his first sack on the season.
Native of Cowansville, Quebec, played his college football at New Hampshire. In his 5th year now with the Alouettes. And a big loss for the Argos. Second down and long. Kemp completes a pass to Averson, spins around, and gets the loss back. Up close to midfield, but it still will be third and long.
The Three Stooges 360 right there.
Woo! Didn't know where he was going.
That's what I was looking for, was that little noise you just made there.
The curly shuffle.
I didn't want to do it. But that's exactly what Jimmy Kemp needed to do in the last play, was step up into that pocket where he didn't, and Charbonneau got the sack. This time he stepped up, had the completion, and it's made all the difference in the world.
So Scott McKenzie will stand back at his 40. Last return for D'Amico Archangel was a good one. Around 25 yards. And this one he takes it around his 25, but they've got him bottled up nicely. Brad Elberg is in there. Roger Dunbrack. And a flag is down again. Much further back from the play, close to midfield, where the ball was originally snapped. Midway through the third quarter. Alouette ball. And a 10-point lead now, 13-3 on Wendy's CFL Live.
Play $1 million.
Coming up next, Winnipeg at Calgary from McMahon Stadium, the second part of our doubleheader. John Wells and Glenn Suter standing by. Their lips don't move there, but they'll be moving later on, calling the play. The Stampeders and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bombers made a nice little run, upsetting Hamilton in the playoffs last year before ultimately losing 35-22 to these Montreal Alouettes in the Eastern Final.
Yeah, they had all the weapons in place last year offensively, and they were dynamic, and all they needed to do was shore up a few things on defense, and they did that during the offseason, but then their offense went out of town on them.
This is much deeper in Alouette territory than Montreal's offense has been used to start a drive. And they're trying to make up for that in a big hurry, but no. That one falls incomplete near midfield, attempted for Ben Cahoon. The average start of the drive tonight for the Alouettes has been their own 40, that one on their own 11.
Ben just running it out and up basically here, and he's waiting on the ball, and the ball floated on AC, but they try to get a big chunk in a hurry. And, yeah, that's one AC would like to have back. Take some shots at him, trying to keep the defense honest, stretch them vertically throughout the length of the field as well as horizontally. Situation you don't like to be in, second long backed up. Defense is in the upper hand here.
Big one for the Argo defense with a flag down and Calvillo throwing again. A short pass and not nearly enough for the first down, so this will be interesting. Kevin Alexander on the receiving end, as mentioned, not nearly enough for a first down. Flags on the field just as the ball was snapped.
Offside. Toronto number 99.
Oh.
Repeat second down.
How's that for a big penalty?
I saw it happen. I just didn't want to say anything, but Swack, you know, just a little anxious, trying to get after the quarterback, understands the situation, possibility for a sack, big play, maybe strip the quarterback of the ball, trying to get off the mark just a little too soon there. Costs his team 5 and gives the Alouettes a second chance to kick it a can here.
Not something you want to do. Calvillo takes advantage. It's Thomas Haskins, and they're up near first down yardage, close to the 23-yard line. That should be enough to move the sticks. Thomas Haskins. When Mike Pringle went down a couple of years ago, he filled in at running back. He was so good, Charlie Tapp had to figure out a way to get him in more regularly instead of just leaving him as a backup. And he can run the football, and obviously he's a great receiver too.
Oh, I mean, you just have to manufacture ways to get this guy the football. You know, and Danny Machochis, that's his biggest chore this year, is trying to divide that football up regularly amongst all his weapons offensively. It's a good situation to be in, but I know this man's got a great offensive mind, and he'll be able to get it done. And he's showing here. It was just basically it was a double pick, it was what it was. And Haskins slips out in the flat, and the two wide receivers, slot and wide receiver, they run their people off and just kind of run them out, and Haskins runners away from his man and turns it up for a simple first down and good offensive football. Anthony just simply threw him a strike, too. If that ball's behind him, it's going the other way.
So another timeout on the field to tend to an injured ball player, but Another first down for the Alouettes. Calvillo in the offense, still on the field with a 10-point lead.
CFL fans, move with AMJ Campbell between now and September 30th, and you'll qualify for a chance to win a trip for two to the big game in Montreal. Call 1-888-AMJ-MOVE. AMJ Campbell, the official movers of the Toronto Argonauts.
Alfred Payton, the injured ball player for the Argos. And we're back again. 1st and 10. Alouettes take advantage of the Payton penalty and hand it off now. They have the first down. Short yardage, though. Not much at all there for Mike Pringle. It'll be 2nd and long, Alouettes. Or Leroy Blue, the injured player.
Well, again, AC finds himself in a situation where there's some type of signal there, like I'm running out of paper or need more paper. That's not what it is, but I tell you, Toronto's starting to do a good job defensively, force Montreal in 2nd and long situations, and then just stay on sides here. They should be able to make them punt the football.
Out of the shotgun, under pressure. Calvillo takes off again. Well, this time he does not have a first down, and this time the Alouettes will. Or yes, he does get across, excuse me. Anthony Calvillo is running well tonight. That's the 2nd time he's rushed for a first down. He had another one nearly of 10.
Yeah, you can't account for this. You know, it's good pass rush. A great job by Dunbrack, you know, exploding to the quarterback. Everybody's rallying, trying to get there. Swack's coming hard. And Capers is pursuing, but just can't get there in time. That is just one of those factors you can't really bring into the fold. I'm sorry I mentioned Swack there. That's Alfred Payton. He and I go way back. That's a name he picked up from Grambling, where he attended college.
Southwest Athletic Conference. Over the middle, caught by Climbing. Nice catch. Really making amends for the one he missed earlier on. He's had 3 straight after that and gets it up near the 50.
Oh, that's vintage Jock Climbing. How many times have we seen him do that over the years? And look at Anthony put a little heat on this one. Zing! He felt the pressure. Oh, it's beautiful. That is just great. Anthony Calvillo feels the pressure up top. Nice move, double cut by Climbing. Kind of leaves Marcelo Simmons just kind of in the trail just enough to open up the lane, make a nice catch, move the chains.
They move it. It's up to the 49. They were hemmed back inside their 20, but a penalty to Toronto kept the drive alive, and now the Argos defense is really paying for it as Pringle takes it and gets it up to midfield. So another good gain on first down. It'll be about 2nd and 5. And a lot of veterans, Matt, on this team, but how much are these veterans affected by the fact that their defensive coordinator, Rich Stuber, is yet to arrive?
Well, I think it's affected them more than they're going to let on. Certainly, Mike Pinball Clemens is the epitome of optimistic. The team has got enough talent to go one-on-one with people, but in the long haul, it's going to cost you.
And we should explain Stuber's coaching the Arena League, and they haven't stopped playing yet. And so they can't get Rich Stuber to show up with the Argos until his commitments with the Arena Football League are finished, and that could be until next month. So until then, Kavis Reed, who used to play for the Edmonton Eskimos under Rich Stuber, is running the defense of the Argos. A lot of veterans, as mentioned, but first down there for the Alouettes, moving it again.
That's right, and it's a great play by Charles Hythen. If he hadn't got there when he did, that was going a lot further than what we saw. But what I speak of defensively for the Argonauts is, when I say vanilla, they're not running a lot of stunts, a lot of different packages, a lot of different looks for the Montreal Alouettes, because they're not capable of doing that just yet. And I don't think Kavis Reed wants to get too complicated, because what happens is, now when Rich Stuber does come in, he's going to have to maybe backtrack, erase people's memory, and then implement his things. Kavis Reed was involved with Rich Stuber for 4 or 5 years in Edmonton. He understands what he'd like to do, but the fact is, he doesn't have the capabilities as a first-year coach. Here's Kavis right here. You got D.K. Smith right next to him. They're the eyes in the box for the Toronto Argonauts. And what happens is, Hey, he's doing a great job of holding the fort down, but the Argonauts really can't do a lot of different things defensively, so it makes it very simple for the Alouettes to execute a very simple package, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
If you're in the Toronto area and you want tickets next week, Argo fans, join AMJ Campbell at the next Argo home game. For tickets, call 416-489-ARGO. AMJ Campbell, the official movers of the Toronto Argonauts, who are taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at Skydome next Friday. And we'll be here as well. Have it for you live here on TSN. Mike Clements and the Argos.
Talking to Mike, you know, he talks about the defense and Cavis and the job that Cavis Reed has done for him, and he just loves the guy, and the players love him, but they understand his limitations, and a lot of times the veterans are trying to help him out into coordinating what stunts, fronts, blitzes, and that they can run with the different coverages, and so that's an indication of just how not far along they are defensively.
First Leroy Blue went down. That was Tyrone Rogers injured. So 2 injuries up front defensively for the Argos. Donovan Carter tackling Mike Pringle that time on the first down after he picks up about 3-4 yards for Montreal.
You know, give these guys credit defensively. They're playing against one of the toughest teams offensively to play against in the league. First time out of the chute, playing a very vanilla defense, mano-a-mano, and Johnny Scott, Tyrone Rogers, Roger Dunbrack, Alfred Payton, Calvin Tiggle, Mike O'Shea, Donovan Carter, and that entire secondary holding their own against a very talented, veteran-laden offensive football team in the Alouettes.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Alouettes in Argo territory as Calvillo throws again. Caught again. Ben Cahoon coughs it up. He fumbles the football, and he still has it. The Alouettes get it back. Tyree Davis picking it up for Cahoon, who originally caught the ball and let it go. So a good break for the Alouettes as Davis gets the ball, and they gain even more yardage because of it, down to the Toronto 25.
That's right. Ben Cahoon running away from Curtis Galick. Galick does a great job of coming up underneath and stripping the ball, and good fortune. Tyree must be living right, and the ball comes right back to him.
Rod Russ said, yep, scripted it that way. Give us an extra 5 or 7 yards. Inside the big Bruno Happel, who takes it. Oh. And does he cough it up?
He does, but he gets it right back.
And he gets it back again. So the Alouettes, a little loose with the football, but they've had a few breaks here. Back-to-back plays, recovering their own fumbles.
They're hitting down there, I'm telling you. It's a toss give, and Happel inside. Oh, and they're bringing it. They are bringing the hat. Curtis Galick does a play before it, does exactly what you're supposed to do, strip the ball, come up underneath, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to come out, and that's what we saw there.
Well, nice drive here for the Alouettes, who have it close to the 20-yard line of the Argos. End zone look. Touchdown Alouettes. Jock Climby.
Oh, Rod, we saw him do it earlier in the game on a corner route to the other side of the field. Here he does it to the other side and runs a beautiful corner route, stems the guy nicely. Danny Machoch is going, yes, sir. That's exactly the way I taught you to do it in training camp. Oh, this is a beautiful route. Anthony Calvillo, just a little slide section, protection to his left. You see the tail end there. Jock getting horizontal once again for a touchdown.
I'll tell you, ever since Jock Climby dropped an easy ball back in the second quarter, he's been on fire.
He's a little upset with himself, but he has made amends for that one miscue.
A couple of nice catches on this drive, including that one for a touchdown, as the Alouettes take charge of this game with the Baker point after. Makes it a 20-3 ball game, a 17-point lead for Montreal, starting to open things up now in the Argonauts.
There you got him right here. He's getting the job done. Watch how he moves his defender, gets up on him, meaning closing the cushion. Right here, he closes the cushion, pushes away, and now it's a simple toss over the outside shoulder, goes horizontal, gets a little carpet burn. Says, yes, sir. AC, nice pocket poise. He knows he's got it there. That's the way to do it. That's cool, calm, and collected at its best right there. Well, I'm proud of that guy, playing with him in '96 and knowing how far he's come since then. It's been fun to watch. They say he's may not be around next year. You know, he's that talented of a quarterback because the exodus from quarterbacks in CFL has been going on quite a bit.
Look who's already gone. Henry Burris and Dave Dickinson, and of course Jeff Garcia before him and Doug Flutie.
That's right. Eric Kramer before that. Everybody remembers Eric. Just, you know, but hey, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. That guy's going to provide us with a lot of entertainment this year.
Well, it wasn't absolutely wasn't an easy start for Calvillo either. You mentioned even before you were a teammate of his in Hamilton, back to the Las Vegas Posse to start things up. There's Archie Amerson on the return for the Argos that have some work to do now as they're down by 17. He gets it up to the Toronto 40. 9 plays, 99 yards. And you see the time on the clock there, 7:29. And if I could add another key play, you remember the offside in Alfred Payton way back when they would have had to punt. And the Payton offside gave them new life and a 2nd and 5, and they completed the pass to Haskins, and then they kept moving the ball, and Calvillo 5 for 6.
That's the one they'll be pointing out tomorrow in films.
40-yard line, Argos with the ball. Their zone. Kemp's pass complete. Big play over midfield. The big first down for the Argos and Andre Kerwan. As the gun goes to end three-quarter time, as the Alouettes have assumed a 17-point lead here in Wendy's CFL Live. Back to Dave Randor.
Wendy's CFL Live at the quarter.
Yeah, I'd say the scoreboard pretty well tells the story. It's not like Montreal is lighting up the scoreboard. However, there is no question who's controlling the football game. And Schulte, there's no secret why Montreal looks so good here in week 1.
Well, you know why? I mean, Montreal's done a great job of taking the time in training camp, refining their game, and then executing plays in this first game of the regular season. Why? Because they hire from within. They keep the continuity. All you have to do is look at the coaching staff. Started with Dave Ritchie and then Charlie Taft. Well, who did Charlie Taft learn from? Dave Ritchie. Rod Rust. Who did Rod Rust learn from? Dave Ritchie and also Charlie Taft. You look at the running back situation. Remember Michael Soles? Well, now Bruno Heppel has learned from Michael Soles. He's the starter doing a great job. You look at the quarterback, Anthony Calvillo. Who came before Anthony Calvillo? Tracy Ham. You look at the running back, Mike Pringle. Thomas Haskins could come in there and do a great job. I mean, I can go on and on and on as to why the Montreal Alouettes are a good organization, because they identify young talent, they keep them on the football team, and they make sure they improve year after year. So when it's their time, they shine.
And who identifies that young talent?
I know who does.
Jim Popp, and he has done an absolutely tremendous job in Montreal. You know, transition's a part of the game. Players come, players go, but the performance has not dropped off at all in Montreal. We talked earlier in the game about the secondary and some of the problems there. They have not missed a beat. They lose a Winston October, and they find an Archangel to return. Jim Popp has done a phenomenal job, not only with American talent, but in the Canadian talent. You look at the draft, finding guys like Flory, Cahoon, Happel. There's a reason that Montreal was so good, and that's Jim Popp has done an outstanding job, Dave.
And the results are there. If you count the 2 seasons in Baltimore, this franchise has 7 straight seasons with 12 wins or more. That is the first game of the doubleheader. Coming up, Wale Buono and the Calgary Stampeders host the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in the second half of our opening night doubleheader.
Rod Rust, his debut as a head coach in the Canadian Football League. Hardly his coaching debut, of course, at 72 years of age. More than 30 years in coaching football at the collegiate ranks, and a lot in the pros as well. He was an assistant with the Pittsburgh Steelers and New England, a head coach with the Patriots, and a couple of stints as an assistant with Montreal before becoming a head coach this year. Airing it out for Mookie Mitchell down inside the 10, but it's batted away by the Alouettes. So they wanted the big play to start the fourth quarter, but they didn't get it.
It's a nice shove. It's nice positioning by both of the DBs. Washington on the outside coming over for help. And just about an inch too short for Jimmy Kemp and Mitchell on that one.
Now, the numbers were worse after one quarter by comparison, but still drastically favoring the Alouettes, as you might think, leading it by 17 points. Almost double the net yardage.
Yeah, Loftus is showing you why they like him, getting up underneath that play to knock it down.
Jimmy Kemp barely got it away, and it looks like he was hit late because a flag went down right near Kemp. And Steve Charbonneau and Swift Birch in there. So this looks like it'll go against.
Roughing the passer, Montreal number 90, first down.
Yes, indeed, against the Alouettes. So
Swift getting the penalty here. You make the call. Oh yeah, he could have laid off. He's kind of, his legs are tired. He wanted to go for a ride and just kind of staple another quarterback to the turf tonight. Can't afford to do that though. Cost your team, give Toronto a chance to get back in this ball game.
Stuffs out was good pressure, forcing Kemp to get the ball away and an incompletion. The first down inside the 35 of the Alouettes. Kemp, the closest man is an Alouette. It's Mark Washington intercepting it. And a flag down on the return as Washington keeps going. Penalty likely against Montreal. But it is Alouette football as Kemp, in some confusion with his receivers, found only Alouettes. Washington, the closest man to it, he takes it. And Montreal has the football again and a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 Million entry. If your name appears, you've won the VTech Helio, VTech's new handheld PDA, in cool metallic and translucent colors, with 8 megabytes of memory, voice memo recorder, scheduler, email, and more. Or the best of Fuller tool set, from Canadian-made screwdrivers to sockets.
Jimmy Kemp just getting a taste of what it's like to run this offense. You have to be on the same page with your receivers, and what happens here is the receiver's making one decision, he's making another. Right here, Jimmy Kemp thinks that this receiver has got an opportunity to go high and over the top. Well, the receiver sees that he feels like this guy's too high and he's going to go in here. Well, what happens in decision, Alfonso sits down, Mark Washington's the closest guy to the ball.
And the Alouettes have the ball with Mike Pringle taking it on the first down. Gets it across the 15.
Just another look at it. You know, defense is just feasting off an indecision by the offense, and quarterback receiver not on the same page. And Mark Washington comes up with a big turnover. Opportunity to just put this one out of reach for the Alouettes. Snuffed off the scoring drive for the Toronto Argonauts, looking to get back in this ball game.
8-yard carry, Pringle up to the Alouette 15. It is 2nd and 2. Montreal as they hand off again. Bruno Happel looking for that first down yardage, the big fullback. Looks like he has it, very close to it.
Anthony using all the weapons. A little toss give there. Just mano-a-mano. Work man, play side, keep your legs driving, keep your shoulder pads low for the ball carrier, and bring the chains out, see if they got her done.
They did get another first down at about the 18-yard line. Starting deep again the last drive. Late in the third, they started deep. They ate up actually about half of the quarter. They keep it on the ground. Pringle takes a pop there from Calvin Tiggle and hangs on to the ball. Had to work for his yardage there, as he often does. He's got the offensive line to work behind, though, doesn't he, Matt?
Oh, he certainly does. On that play there, they got dominated. You see Flory coming around, and then Tyrone Rogers does a number on Pringle, but they've got some people with some ability to move around. There's some big men, Flory, Busherval, OKK, and Chu. They can all move around, and Neil Fort being 70 pounds lighter.
Jock Climby catching again, although a flag is down. Climby had the touchdown in the last drive.
Climby's on fire.
He really is.
He's catching everything.
He looked disgusted with himself after that drop. Uncharacteristic. It went right in and...
Offside. Montreal number 86. Repeat, second down.
So Ben Cahoon called him the offside there, negating that Climby catch as Sticks will move back.
Rod, I will bet you that these are mistakes. I know these are mistakes that are being made by these clubs early in the season because they haven't had enough reps at this point. You know, it's been a pretty decent football game as far as execution goes, but the breakdowns have been all mental, not physical ones, but all mental, as we've seen here. And, those will be corrected.
And with a 17-point lead, fortunately for the Alouettes, they have not been costly. Yes, they have made mistakes. Second and long there. It's complete. Cahoon turns it back inside. Will he have enough for a first first down. Not quite, but he is very close, however. Maybe enough to go for it, actually. It looks like it might be just inches away near the 33, so, excuse me, the 27. So he appears to make amends for that offside call before.
Second and long situation, 2nd and 12, and on that case, 2nd and 13. Toronto brought some pressure and actually played cover 0 for the first time all night and tried to bring some heat on Anthony Calvillo, and AC was able to find Cahoon reading the defense and sitting down underneath and almost ran away from everybody. Here's a look at what I'm talking about up front as Toronto tries to apply the pressure. Here they all come, and you see the free safety coming out of the middle here. And AC is able to get the ball off and put themselves in a situation where they might go for it. What would you do, Rod?
I'd go for it. 17-point lead.
17-point lead.
And if ever there's a team that has reason to have confidence in their ground game and their defense.
They don't get it. And now Toronto's got a quick score, and that's a 10-point game with 11 minutes to go. I think I'm putting away right here. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I can't either. During the Matt Dunnigan career,
it's the
he'd
coach
look over it, and if the head coach was sending out the punting unit, you'd see one frustrated quarterback. Tell the truth now. What would your reaction be?
Well, from the quarterback, I'm taking it myself, moving change. From the coach's standpoint, I'm punting.
Okay. You're honest at both ends. And Montreal goes for it, and wisely so, because, as Matt just talked about, just as the quarterback, just keep it.
This is what you're hearing Rod do right now. He can take a sigh of relief.
Rod Rust, one of the few, I can only think of 3 others, I'm sure there's a couple more, that has been a head coach in the NFL and CFL. Of course, he worked with Marv Levy, and remember Bud Grant with Winnipeg and later Minnesota. Forrest Gregg with the Argos and later Cincinnati and Green Bay.
He's talking to Loftus right there, a kid they're really high on. He's been in the organization for 3 years now, and Lester Smith goes down in the secondary, and what do? They bring in this guy from Manitoba, and they just love him.
Well, Swack has another sack. Alfred Payton, his old teammate, quarterback Anthony Calvillo, goes down under Payton at the 20, and a big loss for the Alouettes. A loss of 10, in fact.
Ooh, Neil may be getting a little tired late in this game. Alfred knows that right here. Here's the matchup. Alfred Payton against Neil, the Lightfoot Fort. Right here, inside move, little swim. Guarantee it, Fort wasn't thinking that because he's usually taking a speed move on the outside, beating people with his speed. Swack mixes it up, comes inside with a little swim move, and Neil Fort's beaten, and Swack gets his second of the night.
We call it a loss of 8. And a second and long. Alouettes again climbing with it nowhere near first down yardage, and they'll be punting it away.
But again, who does AC look to in a situation where he needs a completion? Got Jock climbing. Right, coming right in your laps. Zing! That ball's traveling about 40 yards right there. Jock can't get it, get out of bounds, live to play another day.
He had over 1,000 yards receiving last year. Tonight alone, 151. What a great way to start the 2001 season for the lawyer, Jock climbing. Terry Baker at his 20, 9:14 to go. In the fourth quarter here at Skydome, Alouettes still comfortably ahead, and a nice punt by Baker. Adrian Smith at his 30. And he's taken down after about a 3 or 4 yard return after a 47-yard punt. Montreal on top.
Welcome back to TSN Tonight, everyone. I'm Gino Retta. Well, after desperately trying and failing to make it work with the Toronto Maple Leafs, Eric Lindros has now expanded his wish list.
Keep it tuned to TSN Tonight. This is just one half of the doubleheader. Off to Calgary next. John Wells and Glenn Suter have the Stampeders hosting the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as we start the 2001 CFL season in style. 2 games for the price of 1, and this one's not over yet. 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
I think there's some people watching that might think differently, Rod.
Andre Kerwan takes it from Jimmy Kemp, complete over the 40. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Mike Pringle off on the sidelines. And getting some attention to his left foot. Looks like the ankle or just close to it, Matt.
Yeah, anytime your star running back has got any type of an injury, it throws up a big red flag for the entire organization and fans for the Alouettes. Doesn't look like it's that serious.
He taped up actually closer to the toes. Kemp on second down. Fires it, picked off again. Irv Smith. And he just takes it out of bounds inside the Argo 50. Another interception. Jimmy Kemp is angry. He is picked off for the second straight drive. So Montreal has the football again. And Pinball Clemens has more frustration. Irv Smith takes it away from Jimmy Kemp. And the Alouettes in control with 8:16 to go in Wendy's CFL Live.
What do you want to watch?
I don't know.
Nothing on.
Great. Then we can talk about our relationship.
About a good sequence for the Alouettes. And you've got the lone all-star left over from last year and Irv Smith on the corner, number 21. And here he comes up and shows you how to tackle. Form tackle, plays off, head up, keeps his legs driving, takes him to the turf, actually rips up the turf. And right here, stop it right there. You see Birch coming off the edge, forcing Kemp to throw early. Urban knows this, and he simply just hits.
And one interception deserves another as Calvillo goes deep. And that one's taken by Orlando Steinhauer, so it's Argo football again.
That's right, from one all-star to another, or projected all-star in Orlando Steinhauer, 21-21 basically. Irv Smith and Steinhauer making it happen for their defenses. Just balls hanging up here. He's playing center field, goes and gets it at its highest point, which is exactly what you need to do. And AC looking back, oh, I got too greedy. Why did I do that? He's maybe thinking the receiver should have helped him out a little bit, but I think that's frustration with himself. Well, I know that feeling. First of all, you think it's the receiver's fault, and after the time you had a little chance to settle down the sidelines, you know you screwed up yourself.
The Alouettes are looking for the knockout punch, leading 20-3. Well, they don't get it. And Kemp gets another chance here and is taking off. Jimmy Kemp on the run. Slides down safely at the 25, and looks like a first down for the Argos.
Call me crazy, but he reminded me a whole lot of the little man who went south of the border a couple years ago. He looked like Flutie on that play. Watch him step up in the pocket here, and then this little move right here of putting the ball down and running and just kind of humping over. That reminds me a whole lot of Flutie. And then the slide afterwards reminds me a whole lot.
Well, Jimmy Kemp will take that comparison, I'm sure.
Compared with the best.
And he works at a shotgun now. And he throws over the middle and he completes a pass. And of course, Flutie used to do a lot of that. That one's to Daryl Mitchell. It's up over the 40. Suddenly, Kemp has a little drive going here. 6:54. Under 7 minutes left in fourth quarter time now. And the Argos need to get something going in a real hurry.
That's beautiful. That's just great timing. You saw that develop. Jimmy was on his read. He's reading the same thing Daryl Mitchell was, and threw the ball, threw the receiver open. Doesn't wait till he's open. He throws him open, and just sitting there picking on Montreal's defense is dropping back in zone coverage now.
They're dropping back again, and it's complete again to Archie Amerson, this time short of a first down, but it does gain about 7 yards up close to the Argo 50, so they continue to move it along, get closer to midfield.
This is a point of the game where defense understands the situation. They're up by 17. They're going to drop back in zone, not give up the big play, and rally the ball underneath and give them chunks up and down the field and make them use a lot of the clock. And that's exactly what Montreal's doing. Just playing soft, prevent defense, and coming up and making plays.
Amerson, 5 catches for 32 yards. Second down, 3 yards. Kept rolling out. Under pressure, he gets away from it. Can he get a first down? Yes, he does. Slides in again over midfield. It's a good drive going for Jimmy Kemp now as the sticks move again for the Argos.
Kelly Wilshire's upset with himself, and Michael Jenkins gives Jimmy Kemp an opportunity to get on the outside. Right here, Michael Jenkins put on that extra beef so he can do this year. Pick up. Fleischer on the outside, and Jimmy Kemp making Wilshire go to his knees, and Kelly doesn't like that at all.
The Argos need 3 scores, down by 17. Kerwan has it complete, but the Alouette 45, pickup of about 9. So another good first down play for that Argo offense.
Well, offense seems to be picking up some momentum and some continuity here, only because Montreal has changed their defensive philosophy. They're playing off, and Jimmy understands that, so he's going to be patient and try to take the underneath throws, and hopefully one of your players can make a play.
And the Alouette defense seems quite content to give it to them. Clock continues to tick down, well under 5 minutes, 4:38. Shotgun. A fake handoff to Jenkins, and Kemp runs again. Easily gets the first down and inside the Alouette 35.
Oh, what a wonderful fake. Had us fooled up here and everybody in the stadium fooled. I'm telling you, he reminded me of Flutie on this drive. He looks great. He's got a nice rhythm, tearing apart. But see, Flutie did this to defenses when they weren't in a prevent defense. That's just a beautiful fake. Just a beautiful fake. Reading the defensive end the whole time. He crashes down, pulls the ball, gets out and around. Simple first down.
Ball's in the Alouette 33, first and 10 Argos. Clock's the enemy too, though, under 4 minutes. 17 points behind. Under pressure, Kemp never had a chance.
On the backside, Tito Hanna comes off the edge. He's going up against a very tired Juan Roque, number 68. And just simply blows by him, uses his speed. This is fresh legs against legs that have been an entire game, and Tito Hanna comes up with a big set.
Watch the screen. And the clock continues to tick down.
There's Tito, number 69, to the boundary here up against Juan Roque. Oh, look at that jump.
There's more pressure. Again was all over Kemp, and the pass is completed, but it's more lost yardage.
Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. It looks like he was shot out of a cannon. Here's a good look at it. It looks like he shot out of a cannon. Fresh legs right here. Right at the bottom of your screen. Boom! Great jump.
Couple of big plays from the rookie from South Carolina State, Tito Hanna. And the Argo drive is stalling. Just over 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter here in Toronto. The game story brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods. And Jock Climby, only one bad mark of a beautiful game for Climby. 7 catches. He just had that one drop ball, but he's been brilliant tonight. Kerwin Bell injured. He didn't come out to start the second half, and he was 13 for 19 and had it going for the Argos in the second quarter. And the rushing yardage, a lot of that Pringles. 85 yards rushing, and 24 receiving as well. But it's the Alouettes' game to lose now, 20-3 with 3:05 on the clock here at Skydome.
Yeah, with 3 minutes left to go in this game, and Montreal fixing to get the ball back, or going to get the ball back, excuse me. Just a little slang there from down South Georgia. I anticipate Pringle going over that 100-yard mark. We got 15 to go.
And that's who they'll be probably giving it to. You're right.
Pringle time.
Oh, yeah. Field goal attempt here for Jacob Marini, 50 yards away. They need 3 scores, as we'll get one of them now if they can, but they won't. It's wide and it's short. And Archangel just takes it out to his 10-yard line, so 2:49 on the clock, and you could be right, Matt. Could be Pringle time. Seems to be fine.
He's the first one out there. Pringle's 35, 40 yards in front of his entire offense. He's going, I'm fine. He's making a point to the rest of the league to let everybody know he's fine by hustling out there. I guarantee that's what he's doing. He said, I'm fine. I'm not injured. You can't hurt me. Tricks and get 15, go over 100 again.
Let's go down to the sidelines again and join John Liu. Hi, John.
Hey, Rod. Just an update on Mike Pringle. As you can see, as Matt had mentioned, him jogging out there, he is fine. All that had happened was he had stubbed his little toe on the turf. Trainers confirmed that. It's nothing more than that. So if it is anything worse, well, Mike Pringle being the warrior that he is, he's hiding it. But otherwise, he's fine.
And he had the football, and he picked up some yardage right there. So let's see. He was 85. Give him another 5 yards there. He'd be close to 10 yards away, I'd say. Yeah, looks like a 5-yard gain.
Yeah. They're going to give it to him again? Yeah, but, you know, a sprained toe. And, you know, everybody in the organization takes a big gasp because you just can't afford for that guy to go down. Well, I guess they can because they have Thomas Haskins.
Right.
Not many clubs can let a Pringle or something like that go down.
Oh, guess who got it? Guess what he did? Another big gain, Pringle, and it looks like he will hit that 100-yard plateau.
You have what, 101, 102 now?
We'll get the official count in a second here, but he must be getting awfully close.
He's over.
His best year, 1998. He's had a lot of great years. He ran for 1,972 yards in 94, and then almost 1,895. In 1998, of course, he's the only one ever to rush for over 2,000 yards in CFL history in one season. The CFL, over 2,000 yards. That year, he had 13 100-yard games. Absolutely remarkable. And he's looking to start this season off with a 100-yard game as well.
Hit that 100-yard mark is a benchmark for running backs. And, you know, you take pride in doing that and being able to do that consistently. And certainly I know Pringle knew he was close, and it was going to be Pringle time here in the last 3 minutes of the game. And he just hustled out there and said, give me the rock, give me the rock. 2 times in a row, 100 yards. It's fun to watch. Watch that offensive line take control. But Johnny Scott, Tyrone Rogers, Roger Dunbrack, and Alfred Payton have held their own. Just been too vanilla, and Montreal has just been too good and consistent. The only time they were stopped was when they stopped themselves.
I'll give 3 or 4 more to Pringle's total. Of course, he's the second all-time in rushing in the Canadian Football League behind the legend George Reed. Many great years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 12,461. In just his 10th season. And if he keeps going the way he has, at the latest, sometime in early 2003, barring injury, Mike Pringle will pass George Reed and become the CFL's all-time rushing leader. Remarkable.
Kind of look at the situation here. Montreal just seems to be doing what they need to do to win this football game, have been throughout the 4 quarters. And Toronto is just kind of finding out about themselves. Everything that was anticipated about this football club coming into the game is kind of held true. Special teams haven't been fantastic. Their defense has been solid, but just very vanilla. And their offense has been sputtering because it's going to take some while to find their timing. But they've got a lot of quality athletes out there, and they should provide us with a lot of entertainment this year.
And the updated Pringle count, 21 carries, 108 yards. So, yes, he does in week 1. Started right. I think all the Alouettes do. In a 20-3 lead, 1:43 on the clock. Academic now as Baker stands at around his 20. Maybe he can try another pass. Had a completion earlier. Of course, it didn't count. Tracy Gravely was ineligible. Gets a booming punt away to Adrian Smith. Chases him back inside the 25. Gets a block. Then gets taken down after a return of only 1 yard. Now the Toronto Sun, #1 in sports. Argo fans, join the Sun of the next Argo home game. Pinball Clements and the Argos hosting Winnipeg. For tickets, call 416-489-ARGO. The Toronto Sun, you live sports, so do we. And we at TSN will have that game for you as well. Skydome next Friday night, and what is becoming a bigger game for the Argos, even this early in the season, taking on another division rival. They started the season against their 3 East Division rivals. Montreal tonight, Winnipeg next week, and the week after that, they host the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Then they head west on the road for a couple of games. Out of the shotgun, Kemp, complete. Alfonso Browning, the ex-Alouette, with his 2nd catch of the game, and a first down for Toronto.
Yeah, it's kind of a tough position to be in as a defense. You know the game's in hand. You got to be passive. Front 4 can tee off on the quarterback, but the linebackers have to be passive and drop off. You got Glenn Young in the middle. He's back at his natural position. Kelly Wiltshire on the outside, and Stephon Reed on the outside. There's 3 Canadian linebackers doing a whale of a job for the Alouettes. And then where they have up behind them, 3 more Canadian linebackers in Stables, Hoople, and Petts. And then your lone American is Tracy Gravely, who's in his 10th year. He's been a stellar performer, but there they are right there.
It's got to be sweetest for Glenn Young tonight, who had 3 seasons with the Argos until he signed on with the Alouettes in the offseason. Stephen Reed, the 7th season, he's been with Montreal a long time. And Kelly Wiltshire won a Grey Cup with the Argos. And then he moved on, return home and go to the Alouettes. And
got his motor running 24/7, that kid does. He's happy to be in Alouettes uniform, as all 7 of those guys are. You talk to Rod Rust about his Canadian talent, and he says, I tell you, you look at Pets and Stables and Hoople, and he's talking about his backups there. He says, you get real excited if you're in a program and see those guys step on the field. They're big, they're tall, 6'3", 6'4", anywhere from 220 to 240, and they can run. Very athletic, are good in space. That makes a big difference. Glenn Young, number 55, after his 4 years in the CFL, finally back in the middle, which is his natural position. When he's in Toronto, he played rush end, he's outside linebacker, and he's not a space player. He's not a rush end, too little too light, and not enough great speed and quickness off the edge. But he's a run stopper, and he'll flourish in the middle for the Alouettes.
It was an offside call against Montreal as Tito Hanna jumped the gun that time. 1:02 on the clock, and a 1st and 5 for Kemp and the Argos. Under pressure again, gets away from it this time. Looking to air out something a little deeper, and does get it away while he had an open man for Grayson Shillingford. It goes out of bounds. But yeah, you talk about, it's one thing, of course, to have great Canadian players. It's another thing to be deeper Canadian talent. That's really a rarity in the CFL and a very important thing. That can really hurt a team, given the ratio. When a Canadian player does go down, a top Canadian player, it's hard to replace them. That's a good thing for the Alouettes, having 3 Canadian linebackers.
Well, Argonauts may need 3 quarterbacks this year. You know, they're already down to the second one here, and Jimmy Kemp, and he looks good in spots, especially against this prevent defense. But tough first half for Kerwin Bell. Had some good numbers, some surprisingly good numbers. A lot of those balls were thrown underneath, and people made plays, which is what you have to do early within an offense and coming out of the chute. Get your rhythm. But then he got his angle dinged up, and then Kemp came on and was sporadic, threw a couple interceptions. When he wasn't on the same page with Alfonso Browning, then he just threw one up to Irv Smith on the sidelines, and we'd like to have those 2 back. They'll learn from this. As Pinball Flemings likes to tell us, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
And there is Glenn Young with a pick, and he hands it off.
See ya!
Alfonso Roundtree has the ball to put a little icing on the cake for the Alouettes.
Another rookie.
Roundtree with the Montreal touchdown to finish things off with 20 seconds on the clock.
So it's Young to Roundtree. Beautiful.
And talk about young. Rod Russ looks like a young man. 72 years young. His team is about to go 1-0 to start the season.
And everybody and their mother's dropping back here. Look, he's just sprinting back. Young just sprinting back, reading the eyes of the quarterback. If he didn't catch it, Kelly Wiltshire was going to catch it. And if he didn't catch it, I know that Loftus would have been there to catch it. Well, that's fine. That's a good time for a defense. They deserve that. They've been playing solid football night long, and they're kind of reaping the rewards now.
83-yard return for that touchdown, and Baker to convert. Well, the fans in Montreal think this is the year for the Alouettes. When the Baltimore Stallions won the Grey Cup in '95, they moved to Montreal, defending champs, but they lost to Toronto in 2 straight Eastern Finals. They lost to Hamilton in 2 straight Eastern Finals after that, so 4 straight times they couldn't get to the big game. They did last year, and they lost by 2 points to BC. Close, but you got it. And now with the Grey Cup in 2001 in Montreal, you know fans are getting ready. Just about a sellout at Olympic Stadium. Remarkable. Ready for it, over 60,000. And you can see the road that they have taken. They're hoping that it started tonight, good things ending in Montreal with a Grey Cup victory. A lot of football to be played, though.
I don't know where this ball was going, but Glenn Young glad he threw it. And Roundtree was even happier as he gets to show off his wheels against the O-line. It's completely wore out. Dance in the end zone to celebrate. Oh, that's a good time. It's a good feeling.
And Anthony Calvillo, second only to Dave Dickinson in efficiency last year, picks up from where he left off, 19 to 27, 280. Did have the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, those right there at the end there. Those right there at the end. One of them was completely his fault. He forced it down there when they're in scoring territory, and the other one, he'll probably go back and look at it and say, hey, I should have thrown that ball earlier. We were in field goal range. I should have thrown down underneath and gotten some more points. So he's going to learn from that, and I expect him to be well over 100 again this year in his quarterback efficiency rating.
And Rod Rust a nice reward. It is a CFL head coaching debut with a victory on opening night here at Skydome. Down to 16 seconds on the clock.
And they are still laying the hat down there. Special teams are still, that was a smart play by Baker, not kicking it too deep, letting the speedsters catch it, kicks it short, kind of a pooch kickoff.
Just another day at the office for Mike Pringle, over 100 yards again.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
Next week, he and the Alouettes take on the Calgary Stampeders, who we're about to see right after this game is done, hosting Winnipeg. Here's another Michael wearing 27. He could be a good one. He's still young. Second year, Michael Jenkins gets it up over the 50 with 10 seconds on the clock now.
And you talk about Pringle having pride and going over 100 yards. His offensive linemen in front of him take pride in getting him there too, because it goes hand in hand. Can't do it without the other, and they've been doing it well. And last year, completely different offensive line situation this time of the year for the Alouettes, and they should benefit from that cohesiveness.
Jenkins again on what should be the final play of the game. It is. Rod Rust, a winning debut as head coach of the Montreal Alouettes. The season starts here, it ends in Montreal, and the Owls are counting on being there. That, of course, being the Grey Cup in November. Long way from that, but a good start for Montreal and Pinball Clements. His team still has some work to do as the Alouettes take it easily. The final score, Montreal 27 and the Argos 3 here at Skydome in Toronto.